Okay, so we're live, but again, like every time we start one of these things, there was just a whole mess of debacles. I don't know how the sound's gonna work. You guys are gonna have to let us know how the sound works. We do, however, have we got Mrs. Whiskey Bonded. Hello, and I think everybody is hearing. I think they're hearing. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to mute. I'm gonna have to mute Owen. I'm muting Owen because Owen is coming through on the sound. So I'll have to bring Owen back up again as soon as we can get. So what is going on, everybody? I'm glad that we're back. Let us know if you can hear everybody okay. Yeah, I got. Yeah, we're having all kinds of sound issues. That's not. Nobody else is hearing that except for us. Now you don't have music.
Good vibe.
The problem with the whole live thing is there are so many moving parts. We now have 3 cameras technically, 3 sound sources, 2 Bluetooth speakers, 3 web patches. It's just thank God for Whiskey Bond Jr. Or none of this would ever work. The boys in the chat are saying, "Good luck, Owen." You guys don't have any faith in Owen. I'm sure he's going to do fantastic. I might have hyped him up a little bit by calling him the legend Owen K in the teaser. That might not be.
Is he chugging?
I don't know. I said there's no pressure to chug anything, but if he felt the need to defend his title of legend, but we're not going to start with that. So we're going to ask Owen not to go freaking crazy. Good IT. Okay, cool. So I think what we're going to do is let's go ahead and bring in. Why not? Let's go ahead and bring in Owen and start talking because I really wanted to have Owen on, not just because he's the legend, but because he actually has a really extensive collection for one. He has had a whole lot of rare character, right? Which is something that we've got coming up pretty soon. Hopefully anytime now. Huh?
Till recently.
I think he still probably has a lot. We'll ask him about that. He's also a Scotch guy, which I like to talk about Scotch. So we're gonna. It's a little bit selfish. We're gonna talk about Scotch a little bit. We'll just and then we'll wing the rest of it. So here, let's try. This is a terrible idea. I'm gonna try and bring in Owen and have you on the screen all at the same time. This is not. That's all right. All right, here we go. Let's try it. There's Owen. Now, can we hear you, Owen?
I'm here.
Wait, we can hear Owen. You guys, if you
there
can't
we
hear
are.
Owen, if you can't hear Owen, give it in the comments. Owen, do you have the comments, Owen? Can you see the comments?
Yeah, I can see myself. I'm up in the corner.
Oh my
I'm way up
God! It's
in left field.
working. It's working. I can't believe it's working. I thought for sure it wasn't gonna work. You'll turn Owen down a little bit. Okay, we're on the fly. We're on the fly. There you go.
The delay is really screwing with me. Like I'm
Yeah,
watching my hands move 30 seconds after the fact.
The one thing you cannot do is you cannot watch the YouTube feed. You got to just kind of listen to us and
Yeah.
watch the
That's pretty
Discord
rough.
stream. Watch the Discord screen. No, it is a little bit crazy. So, yeah, somebody said Cam said 4x4. We always want Owen turned down. So here's what I wanted to do. I will tell you, we don't have the ability right now to zoom in on just your screen, Owen. So if you hold something to the screen, you got to hold it really close to the screen because everybody's going to see it in like a third-ish of the screen size. I did want to, and I gave you like 5 minutes. I keep pointing to the side of Owen because he's over here on my screen. I give you like 5 minutes notice to grab something. I wanted to do the Jack Daniels, but I don't know how, for some reason, with the giant whiskey collection that you have, you don't have any of the age-stated Jack Daniels. How is it possible?
Well, let's see. Vista screwed up Jack 10. Your riddle confused the ever-living out of me for the 12, and I'm not paying 500 for a 14. So
yeah, I tried really hard to get deals for everybody's on the 14, and it just wasn't happening. What we pulled off on the 12 is quite miraculous. I'm not super stoked about the price at just under $200, but it seems like everybody's been okay with it. I know it's really hard to get. I really wanted to get it for MSRP. I tried to get them to give it to us for MSRP, but they were not loving that idea. I could have probably got one to do a giveaway, but Instead, what we're doing is everybody's getting a reasonable price on them, and we're gonna eat it on a few of them to do the MSRP deals just for fun.
Yeah.
Shit, Garrett, I totally missed it. I should have worn my shirt.
Oh, you did miss it. The bear shirt. She did wear it around the house the other day. Yeah. I do appreciate Garrett that you bought it in a very light sheer material though. I did appreciate that. no, no giveaway there. So here's what we're gonna do. I gave Owen a few minutes notice to come up with something that we could taste together, and what we came up with was our Old Louisvilles. So we got the Old Louisville whiskey bonded. You got to pull it up close to your face. Sure.
So we got the old. Is that better?
Yeah, just scream into it. I can turn you up a little bit if we need to, but it's probably just because the microphone's not super close to your face. So I wanted to do the picks with you, partially because obviously it's a shameless plug for the picks, but also partially because it just so happened that the two picks that we picked, the one we picked and the one that Colby picked, are super different. Like being a high corn content rye, and which is double oaked, and a kind of a classic bourbon, a moderate rye content bourbon that is also double oaked, double barrel, double oaked, whatever you want. It was could be cool to kind of taste them and see what you think, man. I mean, I'm curious as to kind of what your thought process. I'm not gonna really put you on the spot for like tasting notes or anything, but I was kind of curious about kind of what you thought about them as a Scotch, right?
Yeah.
Because the one of the things that's unique about the mash bill on the rye is it's 51% rye, corn and malt. So I do get a little bit of that kind of maltiness, a little bit of that rich note that you do get from malt. So I'll pour a little of the rye and a little bit of our bourbon too. And Mrs. Whiskey Bonnet is drinking what? What are you drinking, Mrs. Whiskey Bonnet?
Iced tea.
That's not true. That's a total fabrication.
Ooh.
So while we're pouring, why don't you tell everybody what's in your old fashioned? Because I know they're going to be curious to hear.
As always.
Oh, right. So as long as you're talking about that refined. So you guys, Owen, do you remember the guy that was sitting on the end of the bar at Michter's next to me?
Yes.
I don't know if I can do that. You might have to see if you can turn it up on your thing there.
It's up almost all the way.
You are talking really quiet too. You're whispering. Okay. You're doing that sweet, sexy voice that
Oh God.
Yeah, I don't know how to. Oh, actually, hold on. I actually can too. Hold on, I think I can't turn you up.
It's your fault.
Not my fault. There, now try.
Testing.
Like I don't really know which mic is which here, but anyway.
Set it up and then just leave it that way for next.
Well, the problem is that it's not easy to just set it up and leave it because I know what the problem is. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. What's the name of that mic there? It says find something on, doesn't it? This is a really bad idea to mess with this right now.
Fine.
There you go. Now they can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
They can hear you now.
Tom says, damn it, where's Junior?
What's up, Bourbon Nuts? Dr. Benson. I like that. That's a hell of a way to bust in. There she is. Okay, cool. Your microphone was disconnected, so they were hearing you through my microphone.
Perfect, Conrad. So whose fault is that?
I'm not the technical guy, Junior. It's Junior's
No,
fault.
he hooked everything up. You just don't know how to turn it on.
Listen, this is a super complicated setup that I'm really not that familiar with, so...
I can hear myself now.
You can? Oh, well, you're going to get echo because we can hear Owen's microphone, but it's a fine. You just have to ignore it. So... the guy that was sitting next to me at the bar at Michter's, there was it was a black gentleman in his mid 40s, maybe late 40s, right? Sitting down at the end. He just happens to have a company that owns that makes cocktail mixer for old fashions. Basically, it's basically a single ad, and I actually did a video on it that I haven't dropped yet, but
it's amazing.
It's a single bottle. It goes a really long ways. We use like 1/3 of an ounce, and whiskey. Really? That's it. Just the refined cocktail mix and whiskey.
It has everything in it. The bitters, it's amazing.
Dude,
enough sweetness that just a third of an ounce, like, does it to
Yeah,
I do it to, like, 3 ounces of bourbon, so it's quite of a stiff
yeah.
old fashioned, but
Dude nailed it. I mean, it replaces a quarter ounce of sweet, the bitters.
yeah.
It even's got almost like a sense of two different types of bitters. You know, like a walnut bitter and an orange bitter, and a
There's
standard
definitely
bitter.
complexity of flavor to it. That's why I like it, and it's so easy
Yeah.
because you don't have to mess with the, simple syrup and then the bitters and all that. It's just a one shot type of thing.
And just for the record, when you guys see that, video drop, I don't sell those. I'm not getting any kickback on that. It really is that good. It
Yeah,
just
we just
is.
love it.
It just is so easy. You can literally, even with as a picky old fashioned drinker, your favorite whiskey and that syrup and it, boom, old
Yeah.
fashioned. I mean, it's really awesome. I gotta try and figure out. He's got a website you can buy it at. I'll get it figured out before we get the video posted. But so you, Owen, you got which one
Yes.
you got poured first? You got the double R bourbon.
Well, yeah, I was drinking out of that, but I got them both poured. They've been sitting here.
So I want to kind of drink the bourbon with you a little bit. I'll throw some questions in. Anybody that's in the chat's got some questions, please throw those in there. I was gonna dual stream this on TikTok, just for shits and giggles, but I don't think I'm gonna do that right now. We need to figure that out for sure. But we'll talk about this, and then I wanted to kind of ask you some questions about your bottle collection, some of your favorites, and what you got going on over there, and then we'll come back and do the Kits Apparai, and then by that time my voice will be shot,
Sure.
and we can call it. I like your T-shirt. That's a fantastic T-shirt, brother. Very, very cool. Where'd you get that?
Oh, that's actually Whiskey Bonded. Is it Whiskey Bonded Shop? I don't know. I don't
Yes,
go
it
onto
is,
that
sir.
website much. If it isn't the
okay.
Bonded Bottle Shop, I don't know what I'm doing.
Damn it, you need to get pointers from Tom.
Yeah. Tom is the best at that. It's okay, man. Everybody that's in the video right now, everybody that's watching live already knows about whiskeybodyshop.com. So you're fine.
I'm gonna hear about that in the comments. I'm waiting for it.
Yeah. Oh, hey, here, Beard Bros Bourbon. There's a name I don't see that we don't see every week. I have been going with Kentucky Mule over an old fashioned lately. What's Kentucky Mule? Ginger?
I think it's just like a regular mule, but with whiskey, right?
Hmm. So it'd be ginger beer.
Yeah, ginger beer. Well, it's a Moscow Mule,
right?
but with bourbon,
Ginger
which makes
beer,
it a Kentucky
lime,
Mule.
and bourbon. I would assume.
There you go. You can see that. I can see
Yeah.
that. Ginger beer. Yeah, it would be delicious. Spartan Joker says Old Elk Pick is a fantastic bottle. It absolutely is. I've been trying not to talk about that too much because you can't get them. They're done. They're gone. But anyway, so let me ask you something, Owen. I know what the notes I get on this is. What are the primary things that jump out to you about the double oaked? So it's basically a 7-year-old bourbon, kind of a very classic style Kentucky bourbon. I think the rye on it's 17%, I believe. Someone will be correcting me in the chat, but nothing really out of the ordinary about it. But then he puts it in that second barrel, brand new charred oak barrel, for another year and I think 4 months it was. So it definitely changes the flavor. It definitely gives me certain types of tasting notes. So I mean, what's it primarily jump out at you as?
For me, it's an old Louisville note that I get on a lot of the bottles. There's like this leathery, kind of like damp warehouse note. It's always near the back end, but it's in all the old Louisville bottles, but it's very pronounced in this exact pick.
No, that's
like
interesting. There is some
dusty. Yeah, it's like a dusty, leathery. It's very good. It's a very good note to get out of this.
I personally really enjoy the leather tobacco combo notes because if you get with like a cigar tobacco, it's a sweet tobacco. Mm-hmm. So when we describe leather to people, if people watch this and don't know about bourbon tasting, they're like, leather, that seems kind of weird, but it's not really leather. It's just kind of a sense of something organic, rich, old. That's just something that's got some age
it's
to
just
it.
Like the essence of when you more or less smell leather, it's kind of that.
The smell of leather.
Yeah, it's not I mean, I don't know who's chewed on
leather.
Yeah,
and she brings up a good point. I think one of the biggest misconceptions in whiskey is when someone gives you a tasting note and someone tries that whiskey thinking they're going to get leather or I don't know, leather shoe, whatever it may be. They think it's going to taste exactly like that. Tasting notes are really what it reminds you of.
Right.
Like the essence of like what Joanna said.
Well, I think it was F. Paul Pacult. I was talking to F. Paul Pacult, the very old and experienced. He said sometimes not only is it a sense of something, but it can be a memory. It can be a
Mhm.
memory of something you had as a kid.
Yeah.
A raspberry candy that you had as a kid, or a certain tart or something, and that's what prompts the tasting notes. I try to keep the tasting notes consistent the best I can as a sense of the way that things are. So like for me, it does have that leather, tobacco, and oak influence, but it's balanced out with like
Mm.
marshmallow and chocolate and like these kind of toasted vanilla sweet notes too.
Sweeter, yeah.
I think if you're used to drinking bourbon and you taste this with that in mind, and then I mention it in another bottle, I think you're going to know, hey, there's some similarities there. And I think that's kind of what the point of tasting notes is to give you a mental uh, picture, mental visualization to stimulate your palate so kind of know what it's going to be like. Because it's really hard to describe a flavor if it's not strawberries. I know what strawberries taste like.
Yeah.
Strawberry flavor and whiskey? I
Well,
mean,
and it's different. I think with whiskey too, it's like when you say, okay, I'm getting apple or whatever, it's like somebody who's not experienced in bourbons or whiskey might think like, Jolly Rancher apple. That's not what you're gonna get. It's not like a sweet candy type of a
yeah.
sense, right? It's just like a hint of green apple or whatever it may
Well,
be.
sometimes it's so fleeting too, and it's
Yeah.
in some whiskey there is an actual like I personally if I drink Green Spot like and you drink a lot of Irish whiskey and Scotch and stuff. When I drink Green
Yeah.
Spot Irish whiskey, I actually get apple. I mean, it does taste
Yes.
like green apple right off the tree apple. There's a real apple flavor to it, and I know
Mhm.
like vanilla is mentioned a lot in bourbon. Well, that's an actual flavor. Vanillin's the actual chemical
Yeah.
compound of vanilla is actually in there. It comes out of the wood and the wood sugars, so it actually is an actual flavor. But most of them are not
Yep.
that way. Stone fruit. Somebody said stone fruit. Burbo, good call. Stone fruits. Do you get? I mean, on this bottle, do you get that chocolate and marshmallow kind of? I mean, with double oak bourbons for
Well,
me, I tend to get that marshmallow a lot.
I was gonna say it kind of reminds me of some of the notes we got from our RY3 pick, like this Andes mint almost, but more like kind of like what Kenny said with the RY3 pick. It's like a mint Oreo where you have like a really dark chocolate. It's a sweeter chocolate, but it's there.
I agree. I think there's definitely some similarities with the RI3 and the RI3 whatever, and we gotta ask Kartek how you actually pronounce that. I'm still not 100% sure if it's RI3 or RY3. And I always say
I want to
RI3
say it's
because it's
RY3.
yeah. I always say RI3 because he only does three different ryes,
Yeah.
right? They're
Yeah.
all it's three ryes. But anyway, I have to ask Kartek. We're actually talking about Kartek
Well,
trying to get that dank cigar blend. It's been a negotiation. Tim, what's going on? Why do I have an 8.5 year Baker 7 and it's terrible?
because it's not
uh,
Old Crow. Um,
I don't mind the Baker 7, but you might have gotten a bad bottle. You may just not like Bakers. You like the Baker 7, Owen?
yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think though. Mine's not the 8 year. Mine's the what are they? 7 year, 11 months or 10 months?
Yeah, I
Trying
found
to
that
think what mine is now.
they were not dramatically different, but there was a difference there in some of the older ones. But it does have a specific flavor profile to it. I kind of like them. I mean, that's a beam. That's a beam bottle, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
Bakers.
yeah, and it's funny because I was at my local state store and I wanted one of the 8 years, and I destroyed the entire shelf looking for one. Turns out there wasn't any, so I just reorganized the entire shelf for no reason. But
Well,
it's
that's
fine.
his fault for not knowing what he's got and having it readily available for you. Oh, look.
They don't really know what
Plague
they have
Tracker
there.
Zach says, you're on my next tour of random live streams. Hey, thanks for stopping.
Well, welcome.
Thanks for stopping by. Cameron just asked
Welcome
if
to
there's
the
any more of
drinking
the
club.
right three. Yeah, welcome to the drinking club, 100%. Cameron asked if there's any more of the right three. So, officially, no. But there does happen to exist a whiskey bonded Conrad's Special Reserve that we're going to be doing something with. I'm holding them in reserve. There are some additional bottles of that. We're working on that as part of part of some other stuff we're working on. We're working on some stuff around the Off the Rails Whiskey Festival. I'm not going to announce anything yet because we're working on it, but we may have some very good, potentially exciting things. We're going to wait. We're going to wait. Whiskey bonded Conrad Special Reserve. RBS. We're going to
That's a
think of a better name.
mouthful.
We're going to think of a better name than that. So what else? You getting on that old Lou, buddy?
There's something on the nose, but I can't figure it out. Where's Chef Chris? I need him to come next to me, smell it, and tell me, oh, that's cinnamon from this random brand of spices. Okay,
That would
bud.
be weirder than Kenny popping in here in a Christmas outfit if Chef Chris just popped into your background.
He's under the barrel. You just didn't see
Yeah.
him yet. He's gonna lift the barrel up and appear.
He just like pops up behind his desk and just.
That would be pretty awesome.
Oh, I'm getting
She had a
X, Y,
crush.
and
I'd be
Z.
confused why he's under my desk. Never mind. We're live. I can't say stuff like that. I forgot.
Where are we going with this?
Hey, what's the barrel? What's the barrel behind you? What is that from?
Okay, so this is a Buffalo Trace barrel. I talked to the guy I got it from. He confirmed it. So it's a Stag Junior dumped barrel. And the barrel head up top here, I actually had it swapped out and engraved with the Buffalo Trace logo. So the top here is actually a Buffalo Trace logo instead of just the regular blank head with the stamp on it.
Oh, nice. Right on. I think you posted a picture of that in the Discord. Turned out great, but is there anything in it? Is it totally dry?
No, it's still wet on the inside.
Dude,
There's actually like sugars and stuff that came out of the barrel. So when I got it and had to unwrap it, it was really sticky. I'll tell you that. It made a mess everywhere it went.
Lick it?
There was sticky stuff.
It's a giant wood popsicle. I
Yes.
got splinters in my tongue for sure.
It smells good. It's like the only benefit of it right now is it smells good.
I bet it's making the whole room smell good.
Mm-hmm.
Devin said you're here to keep the things on the rails, just for the record.
That's a hard job, you know. Between these two.
Well,
go with Owen in here.
I'm pretty good lately.
Lately, he's been pretty good.
You have been very low key lately. I haven't seen you chug a single $500 to $800 bottle of whiskey. Not one lately.
Ooh. Well, it's not my. For my birthday, it was a different story, but we're about a month past my birthday now. We like to keep it PG for the entertainment.
Let's hear about that.
What?
What'd you do on your birthday?
Yeah.
Chugged. Well, I decided to chug a GTS.
Wee.
Thought that was in my best interest.
Gangster. That's why you're the legend. That's why you're the legend, sir.
It burned. Was not a fan.
Man, what are you picking? You figuring out what that note is on the end? You talking about right on the end of the finish?
Oh no, in the nose. The nose. It's like I don't even know how to describe. It kind of reminds me of like a candied apple. No, a caramel covered apple with chocolate chips on the outside. It's a very specific thing for me because I used to get them at a carnival.
I mean, I can see that.
It's very specific.
I can see how you can get those notes. You see those notes. I will mention though. Tom asked about these. There will be more information to come on this. I'm gonna have to give it a background so you guys can see it. These are Tom noticed it in one of the videos in the Garrison Brothers videos. These are our new whiskey bonded tasting glasses. They're a small, kind of for the size of tastings. We've got plans. We will be announcing stuff about that soon. I will just tell you this: there's a whole lot of them. That's all I'm going to say about that for now. Oh, Jeff says maybe he's chugging something special on the after party. Uh-oh.
Oh, I don't know if I'm going to make it to the after party. It's my bedtime in like 2 hours. You West Coast people, you keep me
later
up.
Than us. Yeah, I appreciate you joining us from 3 hours in the future. Plaque Trucker. I got to address. Plaque Trucker said, never seen Old Louisville. So Plaque Trucker, I understand. Old Louisville can be very hard to get in a lot of places. In fact, around here it's not even all that easy to get. But you can find both of these bottles at bondedbottleshop.com. Bondedbottleshop.com.
Wouldn't it be Plague?
Plague? What?
His name.
Plague.
Plague.
It's Plague.
Oh, I say Plaque?
Yeah.
It's really small in the thing. That's not a...
I was like, wait, am I reading that wrong or are you off?
Plague Trucker. That actually makes more sense. I'm like, do truckers have bad teeth? Why would it be Plaque Trucker?
Well, probably. I feel like they don't brush their teeth that much. They're in a truck.
I feel like they brush their teeth all the time. They've got nothing else to do. They're in a truck. I mean, you're driving down the road, you're brushing your teeth with your Sonicare.
I hope you're not when you're driving your truck.
Listen, they could be doing worse things than brushing their teeth.
So when I'm driving down the highway, that's not windshield wiper fluid off the truck. It's mouthwash. They're just spitting that out the window all over everyone's windshield.
Yeah, I don't know. You'll have to ask Plague Trucker. I think a Plague Trucker must be a COVID reference. What's up, Chaz? Hmm.
Oh
Okay.
man.
Well, you
So
tell me if you get anything new on that. I want to ask about some of your bottles, brother. I do still see what appears to be a lot of rare character in the background. Is that what that is over your right shoulder?
back here,
Yep.
we're over here.
Yep, right there.
This?
There's a
That's
whole bunch
all
of
Old
bottles there.
Lou. That's Old Louisville. These two the shelves right here are all Old Louisville.
All right. So you've
No,
gone
they're
from
very
being
top, I think, right? Is
you've
that what
gone
you're
from
talking
being
about?
the number one collector of rare character to be the number one collector of Old Louisville.
Well, you see, I've actually sold probably about 100 single barrels from our character in the last 3 months.
Really, over the rare character thing.
Yeah.
Why?
Actually, the only ones I have left are behind my laptop here, and they are all open. So, yeah,
Why? Why?
we're past
What's
it.
the where did the love uh of a rare character fade off and die? Is it just the love's gone?
Well, no. The
It's
market's
really
going to
bad
crash on them.
timing, Owen. There's something
Well,
coming
hold
down the
on.
pipe. I'm like,
It's
what the
not the
hell?
brand. The
We're gonna get to that.
stuff they bottle is great, but for me, with being a collector of it and having 100 plus bottles, the market is probably going to crash out for that brand specifically, with River Roots being kind of the same concept. So I figured this would be the time to start unloading the collection I have while the value is still there. Is pretty much the whole decision behind it.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And I do have to on the River Roots topic, because if you guys have been noticing on the Bond and Bottle Shop, there's a new tile that's Brooks Raley and Bourbon Finder. Well, Brooks Raley, I teased a River Roots, a really old Buff Turkey bottle. It's a charity bottle, but he's got a whole lot of River Roots stuff coming. So we would have a lot of conversations about River Roots. I will tell you the one thing though about rare character that, and maybe Owen, you're the official on this, so you may be able to tell me. At this point, like the bottle that we've got coming, that Rio we've got coming, I think is a really good bottle of whiskey for the price point. It's actually a really nice, and the River Root stuff, a lot of the River Root stuff that I'm seeing is pretty expensive, right?
Yes.
So, but I hear that the Rio barrels are drying up, and that rare character may be just about out of those.
Yeah. So Rio was an allocation of barrels that came. I want to say they are MGP or Bardstown Bourbon Company, one of the two. They only had so many. They've gone through, I'd say, probably 98% of them at this point. So then they moved on. So now you had VEN and GLN, which were the Rio substitutes when they ran out of Rio barrels. And now we're seeing barrel codes like SEG and other ones coming out of Rare Character as they get new barrel allocations from different suppliers.
Well, I think that I know the Rio, because we talked about it. We got it. Rio is an MGP that was moved to
Yes.
Castle and Key, I believe, in Kentucky, and aged
Yes.
on
Okay.
the Rio River, thus the name Rio. And I've had a couple different Rios. I really like the Rio. I like the way it turned out because it's a great MGP mash bill. It's got a nice age statement around the 8-year mark. It's aged in a really cool old drafty, damp warehouse. So the proof that's on it is there despite the amount of moisture, because as we found out at Wild Turkey, the high humidity warehouses, they tend to not proof up as much, right? And they can actually proof down. As she found out from Bruce Russell, they can actually proof down if there's enough humidity in there. So for them to be cask strength, I think our Rio's the 120 or something like that. I don't know how it's listed online, but we'll worry about when we get launched. But to be that and aged in a dank warehouse, I think what gives it that really cool characteristic. It's a good mash bill. I'm super excited about that one, but I do not know about as Rare Character is progressing forward, are they going to have that same quality of unique, reasonably inexpensive bottles to be able to hold that segment? Because Old Louisville could come in and take that away. I feel like River Roots is kind of playing in the slightly more expensive price point, all the way up to their exceptional series stuff.
So wait,
Yeah.
I'm not familiar
And
with River Roots.
it's
So
not.
is that
Oh,
like a
So River Roots is another company that's kind of popping up a lot lately, and they're doing the same thing that Old Louisville doing and Rare Characters doing, which is being really good at sourcing great bottle or great barrels of whiskey. So there is a talent to
so
uh,
they're not their own like
no,
distillery.
none of these make their own whiskey. So,
Right.
but there's a lot of that. I mean, Subtle or Evernorth Bourbon Junkies is the same way. What they do is they rely on their talent and relationships to go out and go through the warehouses and try to find unique barrels with unique stories, their age or where they're at or whatever, and then release them as these lines, right, of bottles of whiskey. And when you find a company like Rare Character for the longest time, or now River Roots, that is establishing the ability to really pull some great stuff, you're basically buying the talent, the relationships, and the palate of the people that are bottling it. So rather than like Wild Turkey, where you're buying the distilling, the blending, the ability to put these things in the rick house and know
Mhm.
when to pull them, it's two different things. They're basically really great single barrel pickers. Is basically what they are.
yeah.
So you could pick a single barrel and then just list it under your own name.
Yeah, we could totally do that. I mean, and that's maybe we do someday. But that's what so the Bourbon Junkies did. Never North Spirits. This is their label, their brand, but this is all stuff they bought from other places like Bardstown or MGP, or it's called a non-distilling
So why
producer.
wouldn't Bardstown, like say for example Bardstown, let's just take them. Why wouldn't they want to still have their name attached to that juice if it's good?
Well, they do. They're basically
Or
contract
like once you buy
distilling,
it,
or
it's for you to do whatever you want with it.
yeah. Basically, you can just go and buy barrels, and you can label them under your own name. And there's a lot of companies that do it. A lot of
Sorry
companies
if
that
this
do
is
it.
boring and like you guys already know all this. I just was, yeah, this is
Yeah.
kind of new to me. So, huh,
So,
interesting.
Conrad,
Yes, sir.
have you noticed on the back of our pick on the label it says distilled in Kentucky and Indiana? I thought Old Lou was just straight MGP. That's interesting.
Well, I know that he is getting stuff from different places. Um, so it is interesting though. I didn't notice that. So that's
Yeah.
obviously well. You know what? It could also be too though. You got to remember. I'd have to ask him. But they also have to make these labels, and he does
Okay.
he does play around a little bit with the labeling because this is actually over 8 years old, but he doesn't have an
Yes.
approved label for an 8-year-old double oaked bourbon, so he couldn't put an 8-year label on this, which is fine because we got it for cheaper because of it.
No, because all his 8 years are going to be the tan finished sour mash stuff.
Yeah, so
That's all his
yeah,
eight
he
years.
doesn't. Yeah, see the rye's got an 8-year label on it, but that's because he's got a TTB approved.
Yes.
What's up, Chip? Thanks for checking in, Chip.
So even the label you have, who approves that? Like the governing,
Yeah,
like an ABC would be for us,
yeah,
or who does it go through?
yeah. There's a there's
Yeah,
a
it's a
there's
big
a
deal.
national labeling approval. He's got to follow the laws. Yeah, if you want a new label for your own whiskey for anything, you got to get an approval.
But why wouldn't they approve the
Yeah.
8 year if that's what it is?
Well, you could, but he may start doing that at some point. But if you've got a 7-year label approval, and then you start to get some whiskeys that are getting into slightly older ages and pushing the 8-year or over 8 years, you wouldn't necessarily run out immediately and get an 8-year label because it's the process. You got to pay for it,
Oh,
you got
okay.
to wait for it.
So each
You
time
got
you
to
apply
submit
for
it.
like it's just cost
Yeah, oh
basically.
yeah, and time. Cost and time too. What's up, Wombat? Yeah, I mean, like part of the reason why our chicken cock pick is taking so long is we gotta wait for the label design, wait for the label approval. It's part of the reason what held up the Rare Character too. Is you kind of have to wait for things to go through the process. So you got what are the bottles that you chose to keep from Rare Character? What releases are those? What types?
Uh,
KOAs, Rios?
so we have that KOA from, yes, Locked Barrel and whoever else was on that pick. TKOs, all sorts of different finish stuff. Rios, got a lot of Rios, and the NIOs, which are just a younger version of the Rio. I pretty much tried to keep one of every barrel type. Is pretty much how this went down.
A plaque trucker is trying to, I don't know. He's having a conversation with himself here. Sorry, Plaque. I got a lot going on here right now, brother. I'm trying to keep track of stuff. So if I'm not responding to your comments, well, somebody said I drink a little benchmark bonded in single barrel and got so sick I thought about storing my collection. Yeah. Oh, and you ever have a bottle that was so bad you didn't drink whiskey for a few days?
I did. Actually, I did.
What
It's
is it?
funny
Let's
you
call it
ask.
out. What is it? Let's call it out.
Oh,
What's the bottle
we
that
should
made you kick
not
whiskey?
probably do that live on camera.
It's not your responsibility. I mean, is it a producer that we don't want to call out?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Well, and
No,
was
it's
it
not.
user
We don't do any
error or
work with
was
the
it the
producer.
stuff? It's like, was it the
Actually,
juice or was
here,
it
let me grab the
user?
bottle because this will put Burbo in a spin real quick.
Uh-oh.
It's not Buff Turkey, is it? What's up, Raging Cajun?
No, it's this maple finish 13th Colony.
Oh, that's interesting. I have a little bit of 13th Colony. Plague Rogue Trucker is asking if we ever came across a whiskey fraud. No, I don't. I don't think I've ever come across a whiskey fraud. I don't buy stuff on secondary though. So
What's a whiskey fraud? Like
Risky said ancient age 10-star.
Yeah, that.
What? Don't put that away yet. I want to know what's wrong with that 13th Colony. Why is it?
Because of the way they finish. Honestly, it's the whole like idea of putting wood spirals, and it just it's something with the tannic oak. Well, this would have been maple, I guess, because maple finish. It's tannicky. Like it's almost undrinkable for me personally. Now I know people that do like it, but for me personally, I think it's too tannicky, and there's not a lot of maple going on. It's like very dry. And I had some the other night, and I was just like, I'm kind of done with whiskey for a little bit.
Didn't you have some bottles that had those little spirals put into them too?
Yeah, we have that. We have the.
They were, yeah.
Oh, what the heck is the
something
name of
you
that?
got sent.
We do have a bottle that's got the spires in it. I do think that the spires tend to make things kind of tannic and bitter.
Well, because I think if it sits in there too long, it just continually like seeps into the whiskey, right? So it continues to release the like bitter oak qualities or whatever.
I don't know. We got to get rid of Plague Rogue Trucker. I don't know what he's talking about, but he's being a douche. See you, buddy.
You're really bothered by me. No, we're not. We're just reading
called
comments.
you a fraud. I don't know.
I just
what he's
listen.
talking about.
Don't come into my live and be a douchebag. I'm just gonna block you. I don't listen. I love to engage with people that are stupid as hell, and just stirring shit up. But we're not here for that. I don't know how entertaining that is for everybody else. So if anybody comes into the live, you guys know I'm just gonna fucking boot him because I don't need you guys
he's just
either.
flooding the comments with like nonsense. I don't even know what he's talking about half the time. I was trying to follow because I'm like, did somebody say something to him?
It's amazing to me, Tim. I see your question, brother. I will absolutely get to that comment. In fact, Tim says I poured the bakers out of the Glen into my yard. Tim does really does not like bakers.
No bakers.
I'm never gonna ignore those gifted comments. I appreciate that, Tim, a lot. It does matter. No, if you're gonna come, I don't understand what people don't realize that on social media, if you're in somebody else's social media, being a troll, commenting, making stupid comments and shit, you guys realize I have complete control over everything that's on my content. Now, if you want to go someplace else and talk shit about me, you can, but you can't do it on my channel unless I let you, which I usually do. But
I also don't get it. Like, what is he getting out of that?
Some people think it's fun to be a troll. It's like I like a witty troll. If he's witty and he's being funny, I'll lead him. But his comments weren't even like grammatically; they were even a mess. I couldn't even hardly read them to like do anything with them. So sorry, Plaque Rogue Trucker, Plaque Trucker. We're calling him Plaque Trucker. The cat with the bad teeth. She gone.
Maybe he had plaque. Maybe you were right.
So he's just stream surfing. He's nothing better to do. He'll come in here and antagonize and screw everything up.
He just don't know me. We're not going to engage in that too much. Chip said he liked the 13th Colony Maple. Didn't you love the polarizing Maple? Well, I can see anytime you do any kind of those finishing things, when you get out of the box, you're gonna polarize people. Oh, they're talking about Oak and Eden. Yeah, Chip, that's what we were talking about, Oak and Eden. Dude, you know what I did, Owen? Actually, I can't wait to make the video on this. I got an Oak and Eden a Spire bottle. Right when I cracked it open, I poured a little bit into a separate bottle. and then I let the stave in there, and it's in the closet, and they're next to each other. At some point, I'm gonna pull them out and try them next to each other and see how much that stave actually did anything over a year or two's time. Because I'm skeptical once it's in the bottle, it's gonna do something probably, but I mean, how much could it possibly do once it's soaked without heat
I don't know.
fluctuations?
Those wood spirals, it's not my thing. They're not my thing because I bought a barrel instead. It's easier that way.
Big Hob is
Michael,
saying,
was
check your
that
phone.
you?
Who?
Were you posing as Plaque Trekker?
What's up, Michael? What's going on? Yeah.
He said when I say stupid stuff, it's usually not on purpose.
Rick, I'm going to disagree with that
the
one.
timing is impeccable.
Widow Jane Decadence is better than the 13th Colony. Those are fighting words,
sorry,
Rick.
Rick. I can't see the 13th being better than Widow Jane Decadence. Widow Jane Decadence is awfully damn good.
The thing is with maple, it's either a dry maple or a very sweet maple. There's really no down the line in between unless you start playing around with the rye content of the mash bill that you're finishing. That's the only way you're going to separate it.
Well, in maple, here's the difference too. Maple staves and maple syrup barrel is two different things. Because are you using maple oak staves in the 13th Colony, or is it actual? Because the Widow Jane is maple syrup barrels.
Yes.
Not maple oak staves. Totally different. What's going on, 4-Leaf Whiskey? There's someone we haven't seen in a little bit. Thanks for coming by.
Javi said Old Lou has an amazing maple finish. Yeah, like 80-10-10. Yeah, Jav, I heard it. It's incredible. I know.
Yeah.
Man can dream over here.
So listen, I have had a conversation with Amin already. I have a lot happening right now. We're going to do the maple thing. I'm just trying to figure out, because I really don't want to, obviously you guys know that we include the patrons in the picks, and I don't love doing the sample thing, but that means we have to go back out to Louisville, and that's a whole logistics issue. So I'm just trying to figure out if I'm going to compromise on the going out and just get Amin to send us some samples. If I'm just going to tell him pick us something badass, because he has done that. Those last couple weeded bottles that he sent to the shop are good. Or if we're going to try and shoot out there.
Ask him for the 80-10-10 maple finish. It's Tom, Javi, and Daniel approved. It's good.
But is there more than one barrel of it? There's more than one barrel of it.
I don't know if there was only 80-10-10. There's a few maples, but I don't know if there was more than just one of the 80-10-10 maple. It was a random one-off mash bill he ended up with.
Well, let me talk. When we're done here, you guys shoot me a note. I'll reach out to Amin and find out if that's the case. If there's literally only one barrel of 80-10-10, then we'll get the barrel of 80-10-10.
Is that the one that we?
Well, I was going to say either do the barrel, or if you're not confident in selling a whole barrel, just get like a half a barrel or a quarter barrel.
Well, we can
just send me a case.
We can do a half barrel too. That's actually not a bad idea. I got to talk to Amin about the 80-10. No, the guys went back.
Michael said he's going to be in Louisville this Sunday.
Oh, Michael, can you run by Old Louisville and taste something? That could be something we could talk about in the future too. Is just sending some local patrons and just trusting you guys. I mean, you guys have got some good palates. I mean, I trust the guys that went and tasted that 80-10-10. I just didn't realize there was only one bottle of 80-10-10.
So, Conrad, if you don't want to get if you don't want to get the bottle of 80-10-10, that's fine. Because right here is a bottle of it.
I need more than one bottle. We're gonna fight over it. We're gonna sell samples of.
Well, no, I have it, so I don't. Quite frankly, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, I got one. I'm gonna go to sleep peacefully tonight.
I'm gonna. Tim Lewis said, "Am I not trolling the Baker channel?" We're gonna do an all Baker. How's this for?
Chef Chris.
I'm gonna message Amin while we're on the thing here. Let's just see.
Chef Chris, I'm telling you right now, the maple finished Old Lou will change your mind.
What's up, Chris? Thanks. Chris is here, dude.
Finish. Blah, blah, blah.
I'm
messaging Amin right now at Old Louisville. This is some serious live. You don't see this on the fucking Tonight Show.
Yeah. Well, hold on. We should get the salesman involved. The West Coast salesman, right, Steve?
Is Steve even here? Well listen. Steve's probably. There is Steve. What's going on? Okay, Steve, then maybe you
Speaking
can
of
answer
that,
the question. Maybe you can answer the question: why does the back of our bottle say distilled in Kentucky and Indiana, if all the distillate is from MGP? Because last thing I checked, MGP did not distill in Kentucky. Oh ho ho!
maybe.
There was a question about Penelope.
What's that about Penelope? Oh,
Oh,
I, I haven't been
Ours.
happy with Penelope until about 2 weeks ago. Rosé cask finish was tasty. Should I try the weeded? Listen, RC, I like the weeded a lot. It doesn't have. It's a very simple, straightforward bottle compared to some of their other stuff. So because it doesn't have much other than the fact it's just a weeded mash, and it's a 4-grain weeded mash. So the weeded bottle is not gonna blow your freaking socks off, but it is absolutely delicious and super reasonably priced. So you should try it. Just have a reasonable expectation.
Wait, is that
if
Havana coming
you're
back?
looking for weeded rather than staying in Penelope, go for the Bardstown Origin weeded. It's a good bottle. Very good
There are
bottle
there are
for
better
40
bottles
bucks.
of weeded whiskey for sure, for sure. Those labels are made with the
Yes.
thought of blending. We never blended. Yeah, see, I called it. Steve, you're missed it here for that. Steve said the labels were made with the thought of blending, but they never blended and didn't change the labels. So it was right. It was just a
Oh.
matter of labeling. It
So
makes sense to me.
does the TTB not care then? Because technically the label would be incorrect per
I know, that's what I
whatever.
was thinking. Isn't that misrepresenting the product then?
I think no, because I think it can be.
Oh,
It can have things in there in addition to. It just has to fit the things that are on the label. So if it says 7 years, it has to be 7 years at least. Doesn't mean it can't be 8 years or 9 years
yeah,
or 10 years. It could be 20 years and say 7 years. It just has to be
yeah.
nothing younger than 7 years. So the rules are kind of funny. I'm sure that Amin is knowing how to. He's not breaking the rules because that's bad juju. That's bad juju for sure.
But
Penelope 9 year. I do like the
Conrad,
Penelope estate stuff. Shoot.
Conrad, I forgot. I actually have an ounce of JD14. I forgot that I actually had a sample of this.
I will tell you if you don't have the 10 or at least the 12, the JD14 is not going to be as interesting to do. I think the really cool thing to do with the JD14 is you got to taste it with the 12.
Yeah, that's
Listen, if you want to taste this JD14 with me, I'll do it with you. But the 14 is. Oh, I haven't dropped this video yet, so you guys don't know this.
Why
I
does it
do
smell
actually
like
have a
that?
bottle of JD14 that I got.
What? You're giving that away to the patrons, right? Like if
Well,
you're on live with you at the time, you get the bottle of JD14 is what I heard.
that is what it was. That is what it was. But then I opened it, so then I can't. Sorry.
Can't ship it now.
I was
It'll
going
fill.
I'll
to.
send my own 6-ounce sample bottle. It's fine. You just fill
I'll be
that up for
happy.
me.
Well, you already got a sample of it. You just said you had it. What I
Yeah,
need
but
to do, I need
just
to
a
send you
skosh.
I need to send you a JD14 or JD12 sample because I don't want to spoil. Well, you guys saw in the patrons. Most of the guys in your patrons, anyways. You saw the patron me doing the tasting video
Yeah.
along with Whiskey Vault. I should agree with Daniel at Whiskey Vault. I should like 12 better.
Mm.
Now, this is super interesting. I'm glad I got the
Can
bottle.
you pour me some? I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah. Do you? Yeah, we gotta get a clean glass because it is something. I will tell you that.
Yeah,
I'm
when
glad I
I
got the 14.
so when I got that sample of the 14, I had it, wrote down some notes. I thought it was really good. But I'd hate to be this person, but I've had some single barrel proofs from JD that might top it.
No, I think absolutely. That's my problem with the bottle is the 12 and the 14. I think I find the 12 to be something more unique and different. I just found the 12 to be subtle but
Yeah.
flavorful in a way that the barrel proofs single barrels or the 14 isn't. I just don't know that the Jack
Yeah.
Daniels necessarily that this extra proof and extra age on this. Those single barrels definitely benefit from extra proof.
It has an odd
Yeah.
nose on it.
So
It does have a
you
different.
know,
It does not have the nose on the 12. 12's got a much nicer nose on it.
It's odd. It's
so it kind of
just like
reminds me, and not to venture from Jack Daniels too far, but like Russell's Reserve, their single barrel picks are very good, and that's Rickhouse Select. What is it called? Single Rickhouse ordeal they're going through. There's so many better single barrel picks from Russell's than those single brick house,
Oh, you're
whatever.
talking about like the camp, the
Yeah, what are they, like
Say
$300
camp?
MSRP?
Yeah,
It's
they're
not.
good.
They're
They're
single
good, but
barrel.
for me, they weren't better than 15 and 13. I mean, there was one I
Oh
had.
no,
I got a
no.
few samples. There was one I had that was probably in there, but they weren't necessarily mind blowers.
Um,
What do you think?
Tom
This Whiskey Bond is trying
said,
the 14 right now.
Okay, so
okay,
initially, like first sip, I'm literally getting like acetone.
No, it is. It's there's
And
very
then right
much.
after, the biggest flavor that I get on this is straw.
Really.
Like chewing on, yeah, like
That's usually a note. Can I try again? That's usually a note I get in
straight
single
up.
malts.
Like think
what is it?
hay, like just
What
chewing
kind
on a
of?
piece of hay. That's what I'm getting on this.
You guys are
Like
gonna
a
make me
grassy hay,
finish that
wet
out.
hay. That's what I'm getting. Not on the nose, but the nose is strange. There's something.
I like the nose. It does have a definite Jack Daniels. I mean, it's definitely Jack Daniels on the nose, but it does have a, like you said, it's having a nail polish kind of
Oh no, the first initial,
like
like when
nail
it
polish
hits,
remover.
yeah, when it hits your palate, I'm getting just like acetone. And then it goes into like a wet straw.
I just
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, but then I really get that caramelized banana, like Bananas Foster's note that is so popular with Jack Daniels.
See, I was getting like banana peel on the nose, and I think that's what I was like. It's kind of a weird nose for me, but yeah, it was like a
No,
banana peel.
I can see that. It yeah, I it's good. If I got a bottle at MSRP, I'd be happy. But regardless, the sample of 10 and 12 I did have, I think, are better than the 14. But I'd have to go back and revisit. I'm not going to make that an official statement yet.
Chris makes a good point. That's what he says. That's what I love about Jack Daniels. You know it's Jack Daniels, 100%. William Six says mine is
Mm-hmm.
Bananas Foster. That's how the banana comes across to me as Banana Foster because it's kind of like a banana ice cream kind of sweet because the vanilla notes.
But is that on the palate or on the nose?
It's different. I get more banana on the younger stuff than on this one, but it definitely hits me palate. It's funny 10, 12, 14. The banana notes hit me in different intensities in different parts of the palate. And
Well,
what I liked about the 12 was that Jack Daniel's characteristic banana note that I love so much was definitely there. It kind of held through the palate. It was on the nose. It's subtle though. It's not overbearing. In the younger Jack, it can be a lot. Like the Jack Daniel's Bonded, the banana nose is really predominant to me. There's not enough there to balance it. It should be a note, not the note.
Mm-hmm.
So on this, it
so
kind
let
of
me
comes and goes quick.
let me ask this: do you get that banana note? Does it kind of progress through the different bottlings of Jack Daniels? Like some of them to me come off as a very like fake candy like banana note, where this is more of like a raw caramelized banana on the 14.
I can get it as banana Laffy Taffy a lot, which is that fake banana, kind of fake
Yeah,
banana, artificial sweet. I get
I
that
was
more on
gonna
the
say
10.
like yeah, like the runts, like the little fruit shaped candies. Those
Love
banana
those.
notes are just.
Have you ever seen
I
those?
love them too, but that fake banana just sticks with me when I drink certain Jack Daniels offerings.
I do
Why
I'm
get
am
just
the
I
like,
banana
oh,
on the
getting
that's so
nose.
sweet.
why am I getting wet hay then?
Mm.
I
Yeah,
Well,
get
okay,
banana on the
Chris. So
nose, but
it
I'm
is
not
on the
getting
younger
banana
stuff,
on
and that
the.
makes sense.
I am getting it on the nose on this, though, to be fair. And on the nose on this, I do get a little bit of that artificial banana
Yeah.
Laffy Taffy kind of note. Not on the palate, though. On the palate, it's definitely darker, richer, like brulee. Like if you made a
Yeah,
banana, like a banana brulee of some kind. Chris could explain to us how to make a
yeah,
banana brulee. I wouldn't begin to know how to. Like, you know when you brulee bananas, you like slice them open and they cook them?
yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah.
Foster almost, where you're just caramelizing sugar around the banana. Yeah.
Yeah, back to bananas Fosters, I guess. There is a straw. I think the
Wet
straw that you're
hay.
getting, the hay you're getting on this is probably barrel influence, humid rick
Hmm.
house, just sitting in the barrel a long time. It's probably wood influence. You're very sensitive to
Yeah.
wood notes, like very sensitive.
I
You
just
don't
don't
usually like aged
banana.
stuff.
But I think there's such a very pronounced bananas Foster, but whatever range of banana we're in at this point. there's such a very strong bananas note that when you add that oak, you kind of get that like tannickiness, and that's where that grassy hay, whatever it may be, kind of kicks in.
You and your kick on
But
camera. I do like
who's kicking in?
tannics usually. Usually I appreciate a tannic note like on Russell's 15. I love the tannicness in there because
Yes.
if you get tannic like Callaway bourbon, so if you get strong tannic notes
Yeah.
along with the right sweetness, you're getting this battle of the tannicness trying to dry your palate out and the sweetness, the syrupiness coating it, and I love that balance like that. In this, I just don't know if the tannic is really adding something to it because I kind of like the 12 in that it's dialed back just a little bit, and you're getting a little bit more of that sweet, easy to drink Jack Daniels. And for me, part of the beautiful thing about Jack Daniels is that low rye mash bill that kind of gives it that kind of easy to drink, kind of smooth. You know, they say smooth Tennessee whiskey, right? Kind of that easy, mellow drinking experience that comes with good Tennessee whiskey that I appreciate, and you lose a little of that, I think, in the 14.
I think I was just gonna say right
So
now, like the
I
aftertaste
hope it's
to
not
me
just
was a
me.
lot of like black tea
Black tea, yeah,
to
that's a note I
on
get
the
with
palate.
tannins and
Yeah.
stuff. What do you say,
Is
Owen?
is it? I feel like the 14, and maybe it's a Tennessee whiskey thing. I don't know. I don't drink much Jack Daniels, but it's not as complex as I would expect out of a 14-year whiskey of any sorts. I feel like once I get through that banana note, it kind of fades into something, but then that's that. Like I'm not getting a lot of like Russell's 15 or Garrison Brothers Cowboy kind of keeps going. This to me just kind of fades out, and I hope it's not just me, but maybe it is.
No, I think the extra proof in that particular bottle doesn't give you what you're usually looking for in proof and age, which is
Yeah.
a little more staying power. I actually might
Mhm.
give a little of this 12 to Mrs. WB here, but I actually found the 12 to
Well,
be more overall complex because I think it finds a better balance. Whereas the age, the
yeah.
14, you're really just getting dominated by proof and age and wood, and there's like a lot of other things going on, but it just doesn't, it's not the same.
Well, it does make sense because I remember Chef Chris said something very interesting the one night. He said rye is what carries your finish. And when you have a low rye mash bill, obviously like Jack Daniels, you're not going to get the finish like if you have a higher rye bourbon or just a straight rye whiskey. And you can kind of see that comparison there
Well,
compared to like our old blue where the finish was longer. But
the exception to that can be, and he's right, he's 100% right. But the exception to that can be is you can get a wood tannins carrying the finish. You can also get a really
mhm,
oily finish. You can always get a really oily whiskey that'll hang on your palate a little bit. And see, I just
yeah.
find this 12 to be such a nicer drinking experience. Chris asked about this is actually a batch two, is what I happen to have. But I actually like the drinking experience of the 12 a lot better. I just find it to be what I'm looking for in a mature Jack Daniels. Yes, the proof is lower,
Yeah.
but if you ask a blender or someone like Nancy Fraley,
I
she's
got
going to tell you proof's
peanuts
not
on the
everything.
nose.
What's that?
Peanuts.
No.
Peanuts. Yeah. A little bit of a peanut, like a little bit of a nutty note. The best of that banana. It's subtle, but it kind of lingers around. And the finish is longer on this. To me, I think
This
the
is
less
definitely
tannic.
better.
Yes, he's way better. Look at
Yeah.
you heard it from. There you go. We're gonna
Okay,
call
I'm
it
no
at that.
expert, so don't take my
Mrs. Whiskey
Yeah.
Bonnet thinks the 12 is better. She
no,
agrees.
but yeah, it's much better.
Holy crap!
That's
Where's Plaque Trucker? See Plaque Trucker. I'm not full of shit.
that's what I've been reading is the 12 beats them all pretty much at this point. That's seems to be the consensus of what I've been reading so far.
I gotta stop for a second. Aaron Howard. There still is an opportunity day after tomorrow for you to try and get your hands on a 12. If you're a patron, you should go check out the Patreon. We got one more day. And actually, by the way,
Oh, there's
uh, we are going to extend just a little bit into the Bonders. The Bonders are going to get a shot, not at a $99 bottle, but at a JD 12. I'm going to hold a couple of bottles back.
do I get another shot? Because I kind of dropped the ball there after I couldn't get
Yeah,
your
that's
riddle. I
fine.
was so mentally fatigued that I had to call it quits right there.
I think you should downgrade for a day and take your chances.
No, I'm not going to play that game.
We'll
Nope.
I'll tell you what I would tell you what we will do is we'll see what we can do to get you some Jack Daniels 12 one way or the other just because You got to try it. You got to try it.
I mean,
So, Owen, you
honestly, a
don't have a
sample
bottle?
is better than me paying for a whole bottle that I'll take a couple drinks out of and it'll sit here until I get back to it. Samples work. So in the chat, if you guys want to send me Jack 12 samples, that's cool. I'll take like 5 samples. It'll make up a bottle. It's fine.
What's going on, Sean Lawrence? Sean has asked, what have we been drinking? Well, we were started with our Old Louisville pick, and now we just kind of segued off onto some Jack Daniels, talking about the 14 and the 12. I actually, when I first tried the 10 and the 12 was immediately, I remember talking about it. 10 was good. I like Jack Daniels a lot. So there's not much I don't like in Jack Daniels, all the way down to a Jack and Coke. I like the 10. Uh-oh.
What?
We might have lost our camera.
Oh.
Lost our camera.
Lost whose camera?
Oh, I thought I was frozen because of my neck movement in the live.
No.
I don't know what I'm doing. No, it is you.
Lost our camera.
Where'd you go?
Our camera overheated.
All right, Owen, you got to carry the show.
Your camera overheated.
Yeah, camera overheated.
That
That's the message.
terrible.
I don't know how that happens. How does a camera overheat? We might have to do a little. I wonder what's going on with that. It says the internal temperature of the
Here,
camera.
why don't you just turn this one towards you? I don't need to be on camera.
We're gonna improvise. We don't have the ability. This is a first.
Blow on it. Yeah, Conrad, blow on it like it's birthday candle.
We don't have. Yeah, how's that for improvising? We do not have the ability to make a larger screen with the smaller camera. So. Okay, well, listen. What is it? These are the things that happen in real life. I don't know what's going on with the camera there. That's pretty wild.
It's impromptu. I like this. This is impromptu. This is live whiskey bonded.
That's a brand new camera, so
Yeah, it is a brand new camera. It's the first time that it's
Turn the camera back around. Conrad, they don't want to see you. They want to see her. They don't even want to see me. They just want to see her.
Yeah, I know. We should just be the Mrs. Whiskey Bonded show.
I know.
I have nothing to contribute, so that would be a really boring show.
I don't know.
There's a lot of build-up, but a lot of letdown at the same time. This is crazy.
They're worse than the end of The Sopranos. Man. Okay, that's comment to the live right there. That was Caleb? Of course it was Caleb.
It says turn it off and turn it back on.
Yeah, we're gonna try that. I turned it off. I'm gonna turn it back on again to see what happens. Maybe put that down. Put the old thing down there. Okay, so
Devin, it's not always Junior's fault. It is Junior's fault, but it's not always Junior's fault.
Well, that was
just 9 times out of 10.
Here you go. Back to what you guys really want to look at. I don't blame you. It's what I really want to look at.
Now. Oh, wait, are you?
Well, no, now we have 2 of you. I don't know if we want 2 of you.
No. We put it back. Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's the delay. That's the delay messing with you guys. So now we got you get the little farther away view of Miss Whiskey Bond. It looks like I didn't fix the zoom, but that's okay. Anyway, what a weird
Whatever,
thing
I'm
to
still
happen.
here.
I still think you should blow on it.
I still think you should blow on it. You blow on it.
Yeah, that's what Chris keeps saying. He keeps saying, Devin, I'm not delayed. I'm just slow. All right, leave me alone.
Yeah, delayed and slow is not the same thing.
For every ounce of whiskey I drink, I get 1 second further behind than what I normally am.
That's actually a pretty profound statement, I think.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like if I drank 6 ounces of whiskey, I'm going to be 6 seconds behind everyone while I still process that.
So, I love Bradley's blowing it like a Nintendo cartridge.
Oh, I remember doing that.
Wait, address something. RC says, I have no rye in the collection.
What?
RC, put in the chat, put in the comments, how many bottles of whiskey do you own?
Please go pick these up if it's still available, RC. This.
Let's go to that. Let's go to that while I'm waiting to hear from RC on his. Michter's is a good one too. I was gonna say about this though. This is a 51% rye, 45% corn. Great place to start for rye whiskey. Michter's is the same way for me. Michter's is very, very malty and approachable as a rye.
We'll leave that at that.
You're not a fan of Michter's?
So I had the barrel strength that you released. I like everything until the finish that just drops off. I'm not. I don't know. I think it's a proof thing, honestly, with Michter's. I think if they had higher proof stuff, then what is that? 100. I can't read that far.
110 and some.
Yeah, 110. I think
I'll tell you
honestly,
what.
if we had like a 120, it would be better. But at 110, the
you and
finish
I are
just kind of
gonna-
drops off for the Michters.
You and I are going to go completely different directions on that. I think one of the beautiful things about Michter's is the use of lower proofs. I find the Michter's Barrel Proof Rye to be exceptional. I love that bottle. And you're right about there are some things that I could nitpick and criticize about the bottle. The biggest thing being the fact that it's so hard to get and it's too expensive. But
Yeah.
just pure
Well-
drinking experience, that Michter's Barrel Proof Rye is absolutely fantastic. I know that Devin's gonna back me up. on
Owen
this 'cause he's a big
says
fan.
Owen is just wrong, Tom.
Owen's
Okay,
just wrong.
but my thing is, what'd you post it at? Let me ask you that question.
What price I posted?
What was it listed? Yeah, what was the listing on that Michter's Barrel Strength Rye?
Like
Was it 150, 160?
No, it was less than that. We sold that bottle freaking
No.
cheap. I thought it was 130 something.
Keith says no Michter's hate. Just bought 5 bottles of it.
Yeah, I will
No.
check and see. But we actually got a really great deal on that Michter's Barrel Proof Rye. That's the only reason I know that it wasn't very expensive. And I bought one for myself, which I very rarely do. Usually when I drop
129.
things for you guys.
Okay, so Rick said 129.
Yeah. No, he's wrong. It's 179. Wait, maybe that was post Patreon. Anyway, so I know that they can be
Regardless.
very expensive. We'll go with Rick's. Anyway, I do sell bottles a lot of times cheaper for higher Patreon tiers. So look, we're getting a whole bunch of different prices. You guys will see some.
Okay, it was one.
Prices, full disclosure.
I see 129, 159. We'll average it out and call it 140. All right.
Okay.
So my thing is, if I'm going to spend 140 bucks, it's not a knock at Michter's. If you're going to tell me it's a barrel strength rye, I want at least 120. But I get they use a lower barrel entry point, and I understand that's exactly why their ending proof is so low.
Yeah.
But I would like to see a higher proof out of something that's barrel strength. Now it's a good bottle. I just think the finish lacks, and I'm not going to call him out, but a certain someone texted me and said the exact same thing. So I know I'm not crazy, unless we're both crazy.
I'm not gonna argue that. I'm not gonna argue that. Javi's crazy.
Well, I gotta agree with Owen.
See,
like, if you're gonna have
but Devin, that's a
barrel
good point
strength,
too. It is
then,
a very
yeah.
Yeah. See, I think I get your point. When you think barrel strength rye, I think 130s, like the big, bold, punchy stuff that Joanna loves.
Yeah.
The Frey Ranch, like these big, bold, long finishes, like really bold.
I want
all
a
the
lot
way
of
through
flavor.
all the way through the palate and the finish. I think what Michter's does, and Devin brings a good point, get concentrated flavor. It's different. Yeah. It's completely different. And if you want to judge it as a barrel proof rye, I could see why it would fall short. I love it for what it is, which is something a little different, something a little unique, and it's basically that Michter's rye that I love so much, just turned up to an intensity that just is. I really love it. It's fantastic.
Did you see Rick's comment?
What?
Owen.
Yes, ma'am.
Did they text you or texted you?
I don't know what he's even talking about. I'm just going to keep rolling.
Is there a D in text? That's funny.
Hey, I don't play with the D. I wouldn't know. Ask Rick.
Yeah.
Hi, Joyce.
I fell in love with the rye. So RC said he has about 30 bottles. So that actually makes sense to me that he says he doesn't have any rye in his collection, because I've long said in RC, no criticism on you, brother, but that when you start into whiskey collecting, especially if you're a bourbon guy, you start in bourbon, you chase bourbon, you do all these bourbons, and at some point you run into a rye, and you go, that's interesting. If you run into a good rye, now you go down the rye rabbit hole. And I still love bourbon a lot, but I do appreciate a rye. Joanna loves ryes. He said I fell in love with rye with the start of Still Austin Artist Rye. Still Austin's rye is a good one to start at for rye. The Huckleberries, he didn't like the artist personally. Now the barrel strength, the cask strength rye from Still Austin is good. The regular artist rye leaves a little something to be desired. It's good, but it's just
I will say. So Joanna's taste on the
See you, Caleb.
Frey Ranch, the Frey Ranch rye, the barrel strength rye from them is incredible. And I would rather pay the $80 to $90, whatever that may be, over this Michter's barrel strength. I don't know why. And I have all the love for Michter's. I love their products, but this barrel strength rye to me just falls short.
I can see that.
Digress
if
there.
you compare the two, if I'm being completely objective, the Frey Ranch is better.
I'm on my 4th bottle.
And it's more available.
4th.
Well, hey, would you guys just as a quick vote? Would you guys be interested if we did a Frey Ranch barrel strength rye pick for the patrons? Maybe even with a few patrons.
Are you naming it like Joanna's pick?
I'm just wondering if you're curious, if you guys would be interested in that. I just wonder if you'd be interested in doing that. Anyway, we'll talk about
That's
that.
a bunch of hell yes in the comments.
It does look like there's some yeses. There's some yeses there. I do. Okay, I'm not going to say anything else. I'm really bad about announcing things before. And Mrs. has gotten me better about biting my tongue prematurely. So we're going to wait. We're going to wait.
Sometimes things don't work out, and then there's a letdown. So I don't like to get people excited and then have to disappoint.
Yeah. Do you see the outpour though on wanting a Frey Ranch pick though? Like specifically the rye? Like, thank you, Chris. I agree with that statement right there. I have a couple bottles of that. Yeah, so it's a Pennsylvania
we got
distillery.
Okay. We got to address this real quick. We got to address this Dad's Hat thing because I feel like, and you guys are reinforcing this right now, I feel like I have not had the best experience with Dad's Hat, and that it's just because of the bottles that I've had. So when we were really early on, we had Dad's Hat. Somebody reached out to us to do a giveaway of a Dad's Hat for Father's Day. Yeah. That's right. We did a giveaway. So one of the first giveaways we did that was sponsored by somebody, it was Dad's Hat. So I didn't get to taste it because it was a giveaway. And then we got a Dad's Hat single barrel from the Grapes and Hops, if you guys remember that, the Grapes and Hops partnership, which fell apart in a freaking hurry, as things do. And it was eh.
Peerless.
It was eh. I do not love their bottling and labeling at all. I think it really falls flat. But I hear a lot of
Dad's
love.
Hat?
Dad's Hat. I don't like it. I just don't like the shape. I don't like the labeling. It's cheesy. It's campy. I don't like the little fedora on the front. I get it.
They're not very big.
I get it, and I don't want to do any damage to anybody. But I have heard that the Dad's Hat stuff can be really, really good, and I just feel like I'm missing out on it.
Well, think about it this way. So Dad's Hat is small, and their bottling and labeling is a letdown for you. Peerless is big, but we won't go into that. we'll leave it at
that. No comment. No, listen, I don't. No criticism on Peerless's product. Again, we'll talk about this 1,000 times. I didn't hate any of the stuff that we tasted. I thought it was all decent. It was all good. I even said great whiskey. It was good. I didn't want any of those for a pick.
I just wish we could.
Nothing stood out, and a batch should stand out. So, and then they took offense to it. So.
Well, the way
I don't want to ignore the question. Somebody asked about Penelope Weeded. Delicious bottle for the price. Not going to blow your socks off, but you're going to like it. I actually really like it. A 4-grain wheat. Penelope does some really good stuff, but that sums up Penelope for me a lot of times. Doesn't blow my socks off. Not shocked by anything, but I like it very much, and it's worth the price. So I don't think you'll go wrong buying bottles of Penelope. I'll tell you though, the Havana, we love that Havana.
Oh my God, I literally can drink the Havana as a standalone old fashioned with just ice in it. It has all the vibes of an old fashioned to me.
I should have bought more than one bottle of that.
Yeah, I've already gone through more than half of it.
Yeah, at least half that bottle. I barely cracked it, and she drank it all.
Sorry.
So, Conrad, have you had anything from HK Young yet?
No. HK Young?
Okay.
No.
Yeah. So I'm talking to, his name's Cole. He's one of the owners of the HK Young company, I guess. I guess it's HK Young, whatever it may go by. He has some stuff from High West, pre-acquisition High West stuff that's about to be bottled. It's pretty interesting because it's going into a toasted barrel first.
Okay. I do think that 2025 is the year of the distilleries or non-distilling producers that you've not heard of yet. There's a lot of up-and-comers that are going to blow people's minds.
They're pretty... It's weird because they're actually out of, I want to say Vegas. Well, that's where he's based out of. But all their distribution seems to be like New Jersey, New York, they kind of have random hot spots throughout the country where they're distributed the most. But
Somebody asked about the Havana again. Havana is rum and maple, so they're saying rum, maple. It's both. It's maple, maple barrel and rum, both. That's why it's so sweet.
I want to
And
bring up
syrupy.
something that Joyce mentioned, and I don't know if you've thought about this.
What's that? Mother's Day giveaway?
Mother's Day is this Sunday. What is Joyce gonna get for Mother's Day?
Well, let's see. Seeing as we have about 5 female viewers in total ever, yeah, I'm
Well-
sure we can do something for Joyce specifically. 100%.
Conrad,
Any other
why
ladies
don't
in the
we-
chat? I don't think so. What's that?
I will handle this on my end. Why don't we have all the ladies of the Discord for Mother's Day get their names, and we'll give away one of the Old Lou picks.
Oh, you mean
I'll handle
Joyce and Joanna? That would be an easy decision.
Oh, wait.
Joyce, Joanna, I can't
Garrett,
right now.
Garrett's beautiful bride.
Jazz isn't here.
She's-
Jazz loves.
Jazz.
Too.
I don't know.
Where is
We'll take
Jazz?
we'll get them all in a group.
Garrett, where's
minus
Jazz?
Joanna. She can't win her own pick. That's not how this works.
I
guess
we'll
the
give
winner
you a
is
pick.
Joyce.
We could do something for the ladies in the Patreon. There's only a few. Angela. Oh, we've got some lady followers. Don't get me wrong, y'all. There's only just
Angela,
2 here.
but that's what I'm saying. I have
where's
I have like 6 of those picks. So if we want, I can just give one of mine away. It's not a big deal. I have 6 of them.
Well, right now it'd just be Joyce. There's no, right now on the live it'd be just be Joyce.
Well, I'm saying
We can do
on
something.
Mother's Day.
We
on
can
Mother's
We
Day.
can definitely do something. I appreciate that. We can definitely do something for Mother's Day for the ladies
Yeah.
of the Patreon.
I think we should.
We will. You won't.
They don't-
Mothers are important.
They don't get the recognition they deserve.
We all
We
have-
Unless
do
it's
not.
Joanna. 'Cause we hear her every Wednesday.
Yeah. Hey, Huckleberry, I'm your Huckleberry says I need a Rio. The rare character we're dropping at Bond and Bottle Shop is a Rio, and it should be anytime. I'm literally waiting for them to say it's here. So we're gonna be dropping that in the next literally days. I
Aaron
identify
says,
as
I
female
identify
for
as a
Louisville."
female for Old Louisville.
you have to spell your name with an E instead of 2 A's, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, we need the
That's-
ERIN.
We're gonna do
So anyway.
Rick. We won't forget Angela. We won't forget Angela when old bad and boozy. We will not forget Angela when we do that.
Cool.
We'll do something for Mother's Day. Mrs. Whiskey Bottle will not
Now
let
that
me forget.
Now that we went full circle back to the Kitsap pick, I feel like
The ride.
we poured it, we tasted it, and we have yet to talk about it.
So this is also still available. Both Old Louisvilles are still available. These are the best bottles of whiskey that didn't sell out in a day. I'm telling you, they're both so good. I just think Old Louisville still is fighting for recognition amongst all of these other brands that are out there. But I've not tasted anything from Old Louisville that I didn't like.
No, we spent what, half a day there, and everything he poured us from those barrels was amazing. It was hard to pick. We had what, 8 we were narrowing
Yeah.
down?
Well, we tasted from 8 and then probably tried another 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Joanna, number 2 was automatically out every time. I'm not sure what number 2 was, but it was out every time at our table.
Remember, I think number 2, one of the number 2s was a weeder, because I remember being shocked by it because I love his weeded bourbon and
Yeah.
being surprised that it didn't hold up as well
Yeah.
against the others.
You know,
Yeah,
I have
Steve brings up a good point. This does benefit from opening a little bit. When
Yeah.
you first crack it, it's good. When you let it breathe a little bit, it's really, really good.
Well, remember our pick, I actually thought was a rye, and it wasn't.
Yeah, when we first picked it,
Yeah.
because it does have a great.
It just has a
spiciness to it.
beautiful like bouquet of flavor and balance of all the notes that that was I like the rye, the Kitsap rye. I don't love it, and I'm not sure why.
Probably the maltiness. Want to try it again? It's
Yeah.
probably the malt. Anytime you
And
get,
maybe it just when I tried it was right when you got it, so maybe it hadn't opened
Well,
up yet.
it could be. It could also be the toasted oak
I love the nose on it.
because it's
So-
got the double barrel thing going on, the toasted oak thing going on. You may be getting too much barrel influence in there. That could ruin it for you.
well, I was just about to say. So I got some of Amin's 8-year just regular ryes. I'm not sure if the mash bill is the same as the Kitsap pick, but I would assume so.
Yeah.
there is quite a big of a difference between the two. You can
Don't
pick
hold
them
it.
out just smelling them. Which one would be the toasted oak and which one's the regular? It is very obvious.
Well, the toasted oak on this one for me, you get someone else asked about the notes on it, but for me there is a certain maple, molasses kind of character to this
Yeah.
that is kind of rich and syrupy, and that mixed with the extra vanillas from that barrel, I think is kind of what makes it compelling because it is a rye, but it's also very, God, I keep want to say malty, but I don't think it's malty. I think it's more like this molasses, rich barrel char sugar kind of sense to it that
You
makes it
know,
really interesting. And it is a
if
high corn content rye. It's a
if you
45%
didn't
corn content rye.
if you didn't tell me this was a toasted oak, based on the tasting notes, like what you just described and what I get, I would almost say it's like a rum finish where you get the molasses, you get the sweetness, you don't get as much of the punchy rye in a sense. It's kind of far fetched and it's out there, but a lot of the rum finish stuff I have, you don't get an overly powerful rum taste. You kind of get that dark molasses note.
Yeah, Steve, you're 100%. Steve is saying the mint floral notes up front on this kit's app. That's what makes this bottle really good for me is because of the corn sweet notes, the extra sugars and molasses notes from the barrel, and then you do get that minty, floral, rye, grassy kind of note in there too. But it's balanced out really well. Because I don't like a rye that's too grassy, that's too minty, that's too earthy.
Yeah.
It's got to be. I like the note, but it has to be a note. It can't be the overall flavor profile. So
So,
that it does.
Steve,
You're right. You're not wrong there, Steve.
Steve, where are we at with getting me my old Lou barrel with the barrel head?
Oh. I forgot we got a
I need to
budget meeting
start
about that.
I got to start my rick house. I'm going to get the ricks. I'm going to start stacking barrels in here. Where I'm going to put them, have no idea. But we're going to start stacking barrels.
Did you try the Old Elk Kitsap pick?
Yeah, so William, yes, the Old Elk. I have it stashed somewhere. The Old Elk Kitsap whiskey pick is. I thought about doing a running top three back here behind me. That that could be the best bottle of whiskey that I've had this year. It's definitely top three, top five. But it's fantastic. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. The 9.5-year-old weeded Old Elk. It's got a great proof point to it. It's just big and bold in a way that I love.
It's amazing.
It's a fantastic bottle of whiskey. It really is. I got to revisit it. I don't even know where I put it. I probably hid it so that Junior wouldn't drink it.
It
I don't
is.
know where I put it.
I,
I don't know where it is.
I like the old elk, but if I'm taking the picks at their just for their face value, I do like the old Lou Kitsap pick a little bit better.
Wow.
I mean, I think that probably speaks to your palate. You
Yeah.
guys know that
Yeah.
I love weeded bourbons. I love them. So a cask strength weeded bourbon is always super compelling to me. Now, I should try. I brought back a bottle of the Old Louisville, the weeded that we didn't pick.
Mm-hmm. Oh, do
So
you want
the
to do
one,
that? Because I have
the one. No, I haven't opened it yet. I'm
Oh,
waiting.
William
my-
Six said he helped
For
pick it
what?
out.
William, what?
He helped pick out the Old
Oh,
Elk.
nice, William. So the 122 proof. I find that Old Louisville's weeded bourbons benefit a great deal from the proof. Just a tiny turn up in the proof. Where's my other bottle? The tiny turn up in the proof in this really turned up the experience. This one is even more than that, and this bottle almost was our pick. I thought that this bottle was going to be our pick. I went there looking for this bottle as our pick. You guys knew that. I talked about it for months. And the double oak beat it out. But I love a weeded bourbon, 120-ish proof, absolutely my jam. So I should open this up and try that against the Old Elk weeded from Colby Kitsap. But that just speaks to my palate, man. So I wouldn't be surprised that not everybody feels that way about that bottle.
Not to interrupt, but Bradley Booper. We're still talking about rye's thoughts on E.H. Taylor Straight Rye. I just reserved a bottle that I pick up next week. That is a solid bottle for MSRP. I love the E.H. Taylor Rye. I really do.
Agreed. What's MSRP? $80 now? $79?
somewhere up above 50. It's not 100, but it's somewhere in between there.
No. Agreed. I love the E.H. Taylor Straight Rye. I actually like the barrel proof rye too. We tried that in Bardstown. I was afraid to open my bottle, but we tried it at Bardstown. It was actually really, really good. But 100%, the E.H. Taylor Straight Rye is a super interesting barrel because of the unique mash bill in that it just doesn't fit into the Buffalo Trace mash at all. It just is kind of an outlier. It's absolutely delicious.
So
I love it a lot. I love it a lot.
I'm your Huckleberry. I do want a Still Austin Tanager too. Haha. Good luck,
Good luck with that.
because they're gone.
If they re-release them, maybe I've heard that they may re-release them. If they
On
do,
Facebook, I get them for 300 to 400 now.
yeah,
Wow.
I tried to get some additional bottles for the shop, and it would have cost me over $300 a bottle to get them. My
Yikes.
cost, so I just didn't. It just
Well,
wasn't.
Oh.
what were they going for when
Speaking
you
of the shop,
had them?
when are we going to
Not
see the
They're $149
new?
this price.
When are we going to see the new Macallans of the
I
Harmony?
ordered those just for you and me, buddy. I ordered those because I'm collecting them too. We just haven't got it.
I
Yet.
know.
I'll have to double check on the
Well,
order on that.
I gotta get you a sample of the travel exclusive. The what is that? Smooth Arabica or Ribica, whatever it may be. That's a good bottle. That's a really good bottle.
I love all things Macallan, to be honest. We don't talk about it a lot, but I've never had a Macallan I didn't absolutely love. I just love the Macallan profile just a ton.
I love Macallan stuff, but what I don't like is the name Macallan drives value, if that makes sense.
It does.
Mhm.
If you took the label off the bottle and blinded them against some other scotches, I do think that I would pick some other things that are less expensive that aren't Macallan. But there's something about reaching for that damn bottle with that shape that just fits in your hand like it was like you were
It
born into
does.
the bottle.
It does.
We can have this.
Oh,
Yeah, well, we can have the same conversation about
So,
everything
I
that's
think
like
the
label-y,
18
you
has
know what I
such a
mean?
very.
true.
Oh, sorry, Joanna. I didn't mean to
Go
cut you
No,
off.
it's okay.
It's hard when there's three people, man. Don't worry about it.
No, you're good.
Well, the thing is, I can't hear her through the laptop. I can only hear her if I turn the stream volume up.
Oh,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, the only way else I can hear is if she echoes through your mic, Conrad, through Discord. The only way. But
Discord?
regardless, there is something
gotta-
very soothing about holding that 18 year. Oh, that is such a good
100%.
scotch.
One of my
That
favorite
scotch
things
is
to order. If I go to a restaurant and I want to order something that I really feel special about, it's going to be a Macallan 18. Now, it can be expensive, but I love it. I love
absolutely.
Macallan 18. Now, that being said, I don't own a bottle because it's hard to justify that price point sitting on the shelf. I do have the classic cut. We've got some of the additions.
Wait, is the 18 what Harvey drinks?
Yeah, that's the Harvey Specter. Yeah,
Oh.
I do classic cut and the 15 are the price per value winners right there on the Macallan.
See, I'd argue that with the 15. I like the 15. I love the 15. I would rather just spend the extra cash and get an 18, to be honest. The sherry notes in the 18 just hit different, I guess. I don't know, but it is such a great, complete, all-around bottle of scotch.
I can agree with that.
Steve must have been on the train with us.
See you, Michael. Steve?
Yeah, he
There-
said he.
There are a couple
tried
things in my
the
collection I would like to
sherry.
go over, but we can wait to a different time. It's not
Well, hold
important.
on. We may have time. We'll see. What were you going to say, the sherry?
Go ahead.
No, he finished. You said on the train?
Yeah, so Enzo Barbecue and Bourbon, Steve Aiello said, I had the 18 sherry in the M last year at the Off the Rails. The 18 sherry took number one for me.
That's funny, Steve.
And
we
I
were
think
on that
we
same
were on
train.
the same, yeah.
No, we're not doing it this year, but we were on the train last year.
But I think we also
Um,
had the same realization towards, right? Wasn't the sherry your favorite?
No, the Amber Meadows.
Oh,
I really like the Amber Meadows. Now, I will tell you the 18 sherry, if I'm just judging, might have been better than the M. The M was fantastic, but it didn't add enough to the 18 to me. But I
not
love
for the price.
I love
Jesus.
the Amber Meadows because it's so different. It came with these like tropical fruit notes that you just don't normally get on Macallan, and I loved it. I loved it. I thought that was such a cool, unique pour. It was so delicious. It was so well done. It was just fantastic.
It is very odd to have tropical notes on I think Macallan's Highland, or they space. They're Highland. Tropical notes on a Highland Scotch don't exist. So for Macallan to be able to capture that, that's impressive. That's very impressive.
Now, Macallan, as much as there's hype in the name and the hype in the price point, like Will's bringing up the price point on it, um, take away the hype, take away the name, it's still fantastic Scotch. They just get a premium
Yeah.
for it because of the name, but it's not like you're putting junk in a bottle and selling it. It's fantastic Scotch.
Oh, Enzo
It's
is
funny you
a
say junk in
vendor
a
this
bottle,
year.
and it's nothing against this brand. Glenmorangie, they kind of remind me of the Buffalo Trace of Scotch because it's anywhere. It's everywhere and anywhere. It's like when I say the word Scotch, you either think Macallan, which is high dollar, or you think Glenmorangie. And Glenmorangie, like, well, Conrad, we've had this discussion before. Glenmorangie 18-year, extremely rare. It's extremely rare not to see it.
It's not rare.
It's just everywhere.
Yeah, it's
No, it's the thing.
I can agree. Listen, I can agree with that. But Glenmorangie has its place. It is a value priced offering, and they crush it at what they do. The 10 is just boring as shit to me. But starting at the 12 La Santa, which is a great bottle for the money. It's a $45 bottle of sherry finished 12-year-old Scotch. That's not that
Yeah.
easy to do. And the 18 extremely rare is delicious, but it's not what you'd expect as far as a caliber of whiskey out of an 18-year-old Scotch. But again, it's what under 100 and what is it, $120 or something. It's a cheap ass
Is it?
18-year-old Scotch, and it's better than Chivas 18, which is cheaper, or Buchanan's
I
18,
don't-
which is cheaper. So it's like it kind of occupies this center space, and I think it does it pretty well. But I
Yeah.
get what you're saying. I get what you're saying 100%.
But then we hit Glenmorangie Signet, which is its own separate field. Like that thing is on its own. We knew that.
Crusher, but it's also
That-
$250.
Yeah, but it crushes
Hold
any
on.
other thing in their line.
Hold on, we have to wait. We cannot ignore the comments for the people asking questions. You got a lot of whiskey experience here. Lagman says, "I'm looking for nice whiskey for my collection. I have strong tastes, but I don't have any sweet, low alcohol tasting. Low alcohol. So, Lagman, you're gonna need some clarification for that. But so are we talking about bourbon? Are we talking about Scotch? And what do you mean by
So
low alcohol tasting? Because we're gonna try to answer this question for this guys' group.
So sweet, low alcohol tasting. If I take that for face value, I'm going to tell you to go pick up a bottle of Jack Daniel's honey. Maybe like that.
Well,
That's what I'm getting out of that.
But he says collection. So we need to know how many bottles he has, because if he's got 150 bottles, you can't recommend Jack Daniel's honey to him.
Well, and he said nice.
I know. Well, that's the
whiskey.
hard part. What are we, collection is in what?
Hold on, we got
I'd say-
semantics too. Look how he spelled whiskey. Look how Magma. He spelled whiskey with no e.
No E.
Oh,
So he
did-
may be talking about
did-
Scotch.
Yeah.
Okay. Glenn Glassow sanded. You have it in the shop, actually. That is incredible. That's an incredible Scotch.
Oh, somebody said Glenmorangie Tale of Ice Cream. That's an.
I was going to
interesting
say that,
suggestion.
but I want to say that's almost 130, 150 anymore because it came and
Tale of
went.
Ice cream?
They're limited.
Tale of Ice Cream. It's a Glenmorangie, one of those limited releases, and the guys all said that I didn't actually buy one. I didn't get one before I sold them out. Scotch.
Chris.
So William's guessing. Hey, yeah, Chris, I didn't. Okay, the Middleton.
I'm not allowing him to open it.
I got Mrs.
Chris.
Whiskey Bonded, Chris.
That bottle, the packaging,
Chris, go get it.
everything
Go
about
get it right
is
now
freaking
because I know exactly
beautiful.
what you're talking about.
I have so Mrs. Whiskey Bonded is banned to me from opening the amazing bottle. It's
Okay, show
it's
the
so-
art on
I-
it
it's in
alone.
there
It's
with-
beautiful.
I don't even want to pronounce the
What?
Gaelic on it, but
Oh,
It's
yeah, the
absolutely-
dire
it's abs-
Waylock.
yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. Listen,
Would it
Chris,
be like Dare Galak?
I don't. We're
Bear
embarrassing
Galak?
ourselves. I do not have to open that bottle and drink it to tell you that it's worth the money because we have 3 or 4 bottles of very rare open here. It's incredible whiskey, especially if you like Irish.
Chris, I will tell you this right now. For me to import one from Ireland, where I imported mine, it was $400. That was the cheapest in the U.S. you could get at the time. DMV's pricing on that, I wouldn't even hesitate. If I even wasn't an Irish whiskey drinker, I still wouldn't hesitate because it's almost
Freaking
half
stunning.
of what you would pay in the U.S.
So there's the bottle.
That's incredible.
I mean, I will tell you the cool thing about this is too, The specific reason that these are so unique and hard to find is they're made with virgin Irish oak, which is
Hmm.
exceptionally unusual because they've basically deforested the island of Ireland. So the island of Ireland used to be covered in oak trees. It isn't anymore, partially because of whiskey, but there's not a lot of oak trees in Ireland anymore, so they're really hesitant and careful about cutting them down. These are actually made out of oak trees from Ireland, not ex-American bourbon barrels, which is where they usually get all their stuff. Everything Irish whiskey, almost everything Irish whiskey, is ex-American bourbon oak barrels and sherry finishing. But these are actually virgin Irish wood.
Show the bottle.
Let the damn thing heat up
So
again.
Lagman for the win. Sorry, not the wind. English isn't my first language. I have around 70 bottles, and I'm looking for something sweet and doesn't have high ABV. I would like a bourbon, but any recommendations are nice. Something sweet. Buffalo Trace. So anything of that core lineup, Buffalo Trace, um, John J. Bowman or the Bowman Brothers Small Batch is something I would recommend for someone looking for something sweet but low ABV. I think they're 80 proof or 40%. So somewhere around there is what I would go with. I think we lost Conrad.
I'm still here. We got I'm in the chat right now. Chris brings up a good point. Any kind of a weeded bourbon is going to be sweet and easy to drink, low alcohol feel.
If you can find it. I do
You can
like the
find us at
recommendation.
bottlebottletalk.com.
Cameron made Bardstown Weeded. So the Bardstown Origin Weeded is a weeded bourbon, obviously. Low price. It's going to be sweeter, low ABV. It's a good choice. I like that one. Oh my God. Dude, this guy is on a rampage gifting memberships?
What?
That's
Membership? I don't even know
Oh,
crazy.
it's Ted Brooks. I was like, where did Ted Bundy come from? I'm just,
Oh, now my camera's there. We go. Okay, we're back.
Ted
no, you're
Bundy.
not.
Ted,
Ted
what is
Brooks,
going on?
he's Santa Claus today.
Ted
I don't
Bundy.
know
Oh,
what
there
I
we
don't know
are.
what Ted. Listen, Ted. Ted, you're the man, bro. What is Ted coming in with the generosity?
That's amazing.
Hey
Ted.
Ted Brooks, real quick. Ted Brooks, you email me at Conrad at whiskeybonded.com. I want to send you something just for your generosity and just good spirit about the whole thing. That was freaking
So,
awesome, man.
Ted Brooks, are you part of the Patreon by
To
chance
Ted
or
Brooks.
Discord?
Look at all everybody cheers to Ted Brooks officially. The old whiskey bonded cheers.
100%.
What's that?
Well,
That's amazing.
Ted Brooks, if you are part of the
Rick.
Discord and or Patreon, not yet. Okay, well, join the Patreon, then join the Discord. I'm in there. Message me. It's Owen K or something. I don't even know what my name is. Just type something and I'll message you. I will get you a bottle of our Old Lou pick. Because I'm a nice guy.
Look at Owen being super generous as well.
See if I can get this in the post this in the chat, as they say. The link to the
So
Discord, but
I kind of want to show off a little bit.
yeah, dude, buddy, show off a little bit. Let's show us something in your collection that you want to talk about here. I mean, we have you on to bring
We'll start here.
something different.
We'll, we'll start here.
Look, that is the new old Carter
So
spin-off, right?
this, yes. So when Mark Carter wasn't sure he was going to buy Old Carter back after the divorce, whatever, he started Old Sport. So there was 11 barrels of this American light whiskey released, which was interesting. The next thing is there is an Old Sport bourbon coming out. It's going to be Wild Turkey Distillate. So that's exciting. And how many people have ever seen an Old Carter box?
Oh, cool. Where'd you get that?
Mark.
I mean, obviously from old Carter.
Yeah. So this is actually one of Mark Carter's personal barrels in this box. So it's a 12-year single barrel, straight from Mark Carter.
Okay.
So I'm part of his social club locker thing. Pretty much, you get first opportunity to buy bottles from Old Carter, and they stick them in your locker for you. And then you just
I've
pick them
seen
up.
that. I tried to go there one time. I actually talked to Mark Carter when we were in Kentucky during the original trip that we made there, and they were at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, so they weren't going to be at Old Carter, so we couldn't sneak over there and check it out. But let's see, any more than
Steve,
one
I
barrel?
did
No.
not crack it yet. I'm actually waiting for you and Devin. I want to get together with you two to crack that single barrel from Mark Carter.
What's that? Oh, sorry. Amin messaged me back. We're trying to get some clarification on the maple barrel. Will says thoughts on a Wild Turkey 8-year. Absolutely worth every cent. Buy it. I
Yeah.
love that Wild Turkey 8-year bottle for $45. I think we still have it in the shop, but I think it's $49. I get in trouble for selling it for too cheap.
Who yelled at you? Bruce?
No. We'll keep
Not
that one
Bruce.
confidential for right now. I just no. I got yelled at. I think so. The bottle's supposed to be $45, but there's a problem with this whole SRP is great, but it's one of those things where if everybody's asking 55 and then you're the guy asking 48, everybody gets mad at you. Like, I don't know.
I don't
That and step your game up, fellas. my shop is bondedbottleshop.com. It's online. It's entirely online. We fulfill out of California and Texas, but check it out, Will. If you've missed it, you're missing out on something, brother. That's my personal playground.
Ted said thank you for all the
Every time I see Old Carter, I hear Little Wayne's laugh.
Why?
What?
Because he's young Carter?
What does that mean? Oh, yeah. There we go. There it is. The little... Oh, okay. So, for the record, Old Carter's not for everyone. It's quite expensive. It really is.
Expensive.
But
it's expensive.
Mark Carter and Eric Lee, his little co-pilot down there, they are blenders by trade. I swear they are some of the best blenders I've ever had any offering from. So,
it's a talent.
Is it worth it? Yeah, it really is. Is it worth the $300-400 per bottle? I don't know. That's for you to decide. If you have the money, cool. If you don't, you don't. You're not missing.
I got a question. Oh, and here's a question we can't miss because Bradley asked it twice, and this is right up your alley. Have you tried any of the Brooklotic Black Art series? It's kind of their experimental series, but I have tasted two, and both very different and amazing. We've actually had the Brooklotic Black Art together. There it is.
Yes. So
Bonded
these
Junior has the bottle that's here.
This is the 10.1 29 year. Shout out to Bonded Junior for buying that for $100. Whoever sold him that's a moron. Imagine that
26? 26 or the 29?
No. This is a 29. It's the same one I have.
Whose fault is that, Owen? Whose fault is that?
I couldn't tell you whose fault that is, but I heard that guy. He's a very generous guy, but
it was a night of shenanigans.
So, is it worth $600? I don't know. Is it?
It's not. It's fantastic.
Well,
but $600, man. You think about all the Scotch you get for $300.
Yeah, but hold on. You're getting a raw 29 year, no finish. It's a raw 29 year Scotch, no finish.
Right. Man,
that's such a hard question.
What can you get? What is the oldest Macallan bottle you can get for $600? You
18.
can't get a 20. You can't get a 20 for $600.
No, you're getting an 18.
What can you get?
$600 limits you with Macallan because 18 being at 400 to hit the 20. What is it? 23. There's no 20, is there? I don't know.
There's a.
I think
there's a 20-year Macallan. Maybe vintage.
Has it been released lately? I think 23 was the latest of the 20-ish year before he hit 25 and then 30. Yikes. But you're talking thousands.
Okay, so hold on. We gotta back up real quick. We gotta back up real quick. I'm sorry to get you off this Scotch talk, but there's a lot of wild turkey talk going on here. A lot of wild turkey talk. Chris and Tom are saying they disagreed with me on the 101 8-year versus the 70th. Okay. Tom said he liked the spicy kick of the 70th. First of all, you guys are dead wrong. You're both absolutely out of your freaking
Yeah,
minds. No, I'm just I'm
yeah.
kidding. That doesn't surprise me because I do tend to lead sweet over spicy. The 70th anniversary is spicier, a little more tannic, a little more oak influence, and the for me the Wild One 8 year was more richer maple molasses kind of. I just liked it better. They're both really really good. They're quite different. Somebody else asked about the 8 year versus the 8 year Japanese release. It's the same stuff. That comes right from Bruce Russell. That the 8 year Japanese release and the 8 year now domestic release are the same. Now they may vary a
So
little bit, but they're the same release.
if anyone is in the Patreon Discord, send me a message. I am looking for a 70th anniversary bottle.
Oh, I wish I had an
So
extra one, man. The only one I bought
I
one, and it's open and drank halfway through.
I drug my feet. So I've had it so many times, but I drug my feet on getting one. They're gone. So if anyone has an extra,
They're around.
I'll
Somebody
buy
else
it.
asked about the eight
Just
year
ask
versus.
Rick.
Hey, Rick's probably got a case of it somewhere. You probably bribe him with
Yeah.
that. Somebody asked about the 8 year versus the 12. I thought. I actually found the 8 year to be in the direction of the 12. I might have to taste them side by side because I tried the 70th and the 12, but not the new 101. It's in the other room, and the 12. The
Okay.
12 is really fantastic, but
So
the 8 I think is a lot of the 12 year experience for a lot less the price.
yeah. So what I was going to say is, you take an 8 year bourbon, drink it, enjoy it, whatever. Take the 12 year and enjoy it. That's pretty much what it is. You're a quarter, well, 3/4 of the way to a 12 year. It really comes down to that,
I
to the
think
age difference.
I
I think
think Rick might have a bottle.
he might have a bottle. Rick has got a lot of bottles of a lot of things. I
Yes.
think the 12 year and the 8 year wild turkey discussion is one of those things where is the 12 better than the 8? Yes. Is it
What about
3 times better based on the price? No. That's the
Mm.
problem. Is it's 20% better for 300% of the price, and that's why I say 8 year. But
so?
Ted, we can't ignore Ted Brooks's comments because he's been the man tonight. Drinking Ben Holiday soft red wheat bottle and bond tonight. People will hate on me, but better than Heaven Hill bottle and bond.
Oh,
I love the Ben Holiday
absolutely.
soft red. Yeah, I love it. It's different though. It's a weeded bourbon
Oh,
and a non-weeded bourbon.
RC121 CRX. What about the new Robert Van Winkle 50 year Ice Ice Baby? Okay,
Bob
bourbon lore. We're gonna need to
Bob
calm
Bob
that down.
Bob Van Winkle. Yeah, I've
Yeah,
never seen
yeah. That's
what's
some
Robert Van Winkle. That's so funny.
that
Love it.
that's some bourbon lore things where you put on the label that it
Hey,
was
did he
something
really?
Stitzelweller.
No,
Oh,
I thought that's a Vanilla Ice joke right there. Is what that is.
yeah,
Rob
it
Van
is.
Winkle.
But like
Is he
the
50 this
but the
year? He probably is.
Oh, is he?
I
He
don't know.
probably is turning
But the whole
50.
like that is like a bourbon lore comment where you put on the label something, a whole definition about Stitzelweller, even though what you're selling has nothing to do with Stitzelweller.
That
Such a
was a bit
bourbon
of a
lore thing.
controversial thing for sure, and I don't get into the
Well,
super rare
did
stuff that
you
he releases.
did you hear Diageo said it was a label mistake and they re-released a new label that specifically outlines where it was? I'm like, you only did that because of the publicity your first label got.
It's smart.
That's all I
It was smart. I do want to point out that
But
RC is incorrect. Robert Van Winkle is 57 years old, not 50 years
ooh,
old.
Is he
So it's the
really?
Robert Van Winkle 57-year-old Ice Ice Baby.
I
Owen's
can't
But
believe he's
great
Owen's
joke.
throwing shade.
57.
You're
What?
on
What'd you say?
fire. Well,
Great joke. Great joke.
Devin, I'll tell you how it is. I'll tell you what I think. You don't need to agree with me, but that's where I'm at with it.
Uh oh,
Bourbon
Chris
is so
Baker.
subjective.
What is Chris Baker? I think Russell Reserve Single Barrel beats Wild Turkey 8. Oh. Here's my problem
Hold
with
on.
Russell Reserve Single Barrels. Here's my problem with Russell Reserve Single Barrels. I could run around town and buy 8 of them right now. So I can't even tell you what a Russell Reserve Single Barrel. Which one?
But
Which one? Some of them, yes. Some of
some of
them,
those single
yes.
barrel picks though, Conrad. Ooh, that's such a
Right.
dangerous statement, depending on
How do
how
you
it's
know which one you're
interpreted.
getting? Have you ever had one that wasn't that great? Or
I
was this
actually
town?
have, because our state store doesn't pick things; they tell someone else to pick them for them. No,
Exactly.
I've
So
had some bad ones.
you can't say that Russell's Reserve single barrels are better than Wild Turkey 8 unilaterally because some absolutely are 1,000%. Others
Well,
are not.
okay.
Wild Turkey 8 year is always the same. That's the beauty of Wild Turkey
So
8 year. It's the same.
so Conrad, is the 8 year blended or is it single? Is it a single barrel project?
No, it's blended. It's not a single barrel.
Okay, but
Owen,
you're getting the consistency out of a blended ordeal, right?
Of course. That's
can
the
But you
Owen hear
get
me?
a single barrel pick that is
spoilers.
so subjective to the people who picked its taste. Okay, I'm going 8 year on that, just because 8 year is going to be more consistent than a single barrel.
What were you gonna say?
That's the grass.
I don't think Owen can hear me though.
He can. You're just delayed, so go ahead. He was listening to two
Owen,
feeds.
your father is here, so you
What's that?
better shape up right now.
Uh-oh. Kenny's here.
I see that.
You
I
gotta
see
watch
that.
yourself. You gotta watch yourself.
Ask
The
all to
the
ask.
problem with the blending versus single barrel discussion is single barrels vary, which can be a fantastic thing when you get somebody or a group of somebodies that knows how to pick one. Otherwise, just because it's a single barrel doesn't mean that it's better. And a great blender or a great blending family like Wild Turkey or Russell's knows how to put together a consistent, fantastic product. Why do you think Nancy Fraley is so famous? It's not because she's can pick amazing single barrels, even though she can. It's because she's a fantastic blender. Mark Carter, a fantastic blender. Blending is its own incredible skill that takes time to develop that I'm not good at. Single barrel
Well,
picking for me is easier. That's easier than consistent, fantastic blending,
but
personally.
hold on. The opposite side of that, and hold on here. Single barrels. If I pick a single barrel, do I go with something on profile with what I'm picking, or off profile, thinking my customers will buy something that's off profile?
Yeah,
So
depends
when
on
you're
you.
comparing a
Yeah.
blended project to a single barrel, it all depends who picked it and where it came from.
Correct, and
So
that's why it's important to know your picker, and that's why we're doing single barrels now because you guys are going to be able to get some consistency from us because you kind of get to know what we like. Kitsap whiskey is going to be varying; they're going to vary a ton because he's going to pick off profile crazy stuff all the time.
yeah,
Know your store, know your picker, and you know what you're going to
yeah.
get if you had a good picker. But you just buy a random single barrel from some random liquor store from some guy that's
So
not super into whiskey, you might get something that you're disappointed with. I mean, for sure. We,
I
we
hope this.
tried three Weller 107 single barrels that none of them I would have bought. I wouldn't have bought any
Mm.
of them. Single barrels,
Well,
all of
okay.
them.
So I heard Buffalo Trace. Okay, so when I did that pick with them, they allocate, say, 30 barrels. So there's 30 barrels to pick from, depending on when you do your pick, depends on what barrels are left. Um, so I could see if you're doing a remote sampling where they send you samples, I could see them giving you the bottom 3 barrels to pick from. That
It was
wouldn't
worse than
surprise.
that. It was worse than that.
It was,
Those three bottles
it
were
was worse. Oh
garbage.
shit!
So listen. You guys know me. I never say this. I never crap on whiskey ever. Those three samples of Weller 107 barrels were terrible. They were not good. They were young. They were
The
thin.
color was
They were
off. Yeah.
light. I mean, I don't know what they were trying to sneak
It
by
it
my
wasn't
boy
it was
Gil.
like it wasn't even 107.
No,
It was I don't know.
there's not a person in the room that if I poured that would have guessed that that was
Mm-mm.
Weller in any way, shape, or form. I could have told you it was a Weller and asked you which one it was, and you still would have thought it wasn't a Weller. It was terrible, terrible. So they were sneaking some stuff out there, hoping that somebody would take them. Probably a liquor store that didn't know what they were doing, just because they know that 107s are going to be profitable. That's what I think happened. But I want to circle on to a different subject real quick, and then we're gonna have to wrap it up. We're going longer than usual. I want to circle back on this new BTAC offering, the new Taylor BTAC offering, and I said that I was disappointed in it, right? And somebody brings up a point that says why I'm disappointed in it. I'm Your Huckleberry brings up a point about it being a Blanton's for the BTAC collection. I don't understand why they went with the Taylor. As much as I love Taylor, they went back with a mash bill one. They went with a low proof offering with nothing but the promise of a higher age stated Taylor, which I'm interested in. But I think it would have been a much cooler thing to do to go with a mash bill 2, like a Blanton's mash bill, at cask strength with a little more age. You want to talk about a bottle that people would have lost their freaking minds for. I think that would have been a much cooler pick. And I think maybe they just, I don't know why they made the decision they made, other than it's probably a lot more
Uh,
profitable than my idea.
So my theory is, well, my theory is kind of debunked already because you have E.H. Taylor barrel proof. But I was going to say, when you do the tour of Buffalo Trace, they do talk a lot about Colonel Taylor. That's like their claim to fame there. They have the Taylor warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
But how far can you take Blanton's is my question. You have straight from the barrel, you have gold, regular, Takara red, Takara gold, Takara green, Takara black, whatever it may be. How far can you really take Blanton
Well, it's the same
before
question
it's
for
just,
E.H. Taylor, though. I mean, we already have an E.H.
I
Taylor
know.
small batch. We have single barrels. We have barrel proof. So you get the same kind of things. And all they did is circle back to a lower proof, higher age stated, which is what they're going to do. In fact, somebody made that comment. Williams made a comment. I guarantee you, I'll predict the future right now. That's the next BTAC offering. It's going to be an older, not high age stated, mash bill 2, Blanton's. It'll be a Blanton's BTAC
Nope.
offering. I'd like to see it. I'd like to see it in a cast strength. And I get why they don't do it. Because it's not as profitable to bottle at a cast strength. Why would they? People are going to eat it up anyways. You know what that bottle's going to go for on secondary? The first year they release it, it's going to be insane.
But
But
see, that's kind of where I disagree though, because I think the next BTAC lineup, in theory, should be Elmer T. Lee. You have the 100-year tribute or whatever.
mm-hmm.
You have the regular ETL. Where there's got to be the next step, and I honestly think Elmer T. Lee would be that next step in the BTAC.
You know what?
Hypothetically,
That's a fantastic point. And William Six just added to that by saying the only issue is Blanton's is a single barrel. So you might be right. It's still a better decision. It's a better pick than the E.H. Taylor because it's a mash bill
well,
2 still. I want to see it at a higher
the
proof
other
point than
the
ETL.
other thing is, think about it this way: Buffalo Trace doesn't own Blanton's. They're
That's
Japanese.
true. Japanese owned.
Will the Japanese allow Blanton's to be part of BTAC? More than likely not, because that's catering to the U.S. market more than it's catering to the Japanese market. Because to be honest, a lot of this BTAC stuff doesn't get exported. It stays here.
I think you're right though. I think you nailed it.
I
I
think
think you
we
nailed it.
will
I think
see
Elmer T.
ETL quicker than we would see Blanton's in the BTAC lineup.
That's a great freaking point. That makes a lot of sense, and I think that could be our next BTEC offer. He's an Elmer T. Lee. Now, what proof point do they do offer that? Because Elmer T. Lee is what 98, 90.
But
It's under 100.
see, that's the thing though. Out of the three, I got to remember what the third one is. But you got Rock Hill Farm. Oh,
Hancock's is the lowest.
Hancock's.
Elmer T.
Hancock's.
Blanton's.
Elmer T.
Rock Hill. Those are your in proof order.
But take Blanton's out of the equation. Rock Hill doesn't carry a name like Elmer T. Lee does.
It's over 100.
Correct.
It makes more sense that it would be Elmer.
Correct, because Elmer T. Lee was one of the founders. Or, well, I don't know if founder, but one of the big names. So I think we see Elmer T. Lee next over Colonel Blanton's. I do think it's an odd decision, though, to go with Colonel Taylor over Elmer T. Lee. I do think it's different.
So you can see in the chat right now that Elmer T is 90 proof. If they see, this is perfect. Because if I'm at Buffalo Trace, I want a lower proof offering because it's more profitable at a lower proof point, especially if you're going to put another age in it. So it will be a older, non-age stated Elmer T. Lee at some proof point. It could be 90 proofer. What's the lowest? What is the lowest proof of in the BTAC lineup? 90.
Is it 90? I thought.
What's Eagle Rare?
Eagle Rare 17 bounces 100 to 110. Depends on the year.
I'm losing the camera again. But you guys got to just listen to the sound. But Saz is not barrel strength.
Oh, is that right? 90 proof for Sazerac? Saz 18's 90?
Lower proof. And then you've got Weller, a GTS, and Handy are cast strength, and Eagle Rare and Saz 18 are lower proof.
Okay. So it seems the consensus is Sazerac is 90. I think Elmer T. Lee could sneak in there at like 95, 100, and it'd be acceptable. Well, it's going to be acceptable because the taters.
I'm gonna I'm gonna go ahead and call. Well, I'm gonna make my prediction. You're gonna get an Elmer T. Lee, older age stated, 90 proof. We're all gonna be disappointed. That's gonna be the next. That's gonna be the next B Tech offering.
Well, I think we're going to be disappointed with the E.H. Taylor too because it's bottled and bond.
Oh,
You're going to see it at 100 proof.
it is. They already said that. It's 100 proof. It's 100 proof.
Yeah.
It's older, no age stated. It's just older. Just trust us. Trust us. It's
So are
older.
you?
It's better. No
So they
Buffalo
can
Trace.
just say that. They
Screw
don't have
off.
to like show any proof
But
of it.
hold on, bottled and bond states it's got to be 4 years. So are we going to see a 6-year 100 proof in BTAC? Because that would be a joke. That would
It won't
honestly
say
be the
6.
biggest.
Yeah, they're not going to age state it. There'll be rumors about how old it is. It won't have an age date on. They've already released the label, the labels on them. Just
But
crazy.
the only thing
crazy.
with the TTB is they can be placeholders.
That's true.
All that information is placeholders.
I
So,
don't think it'll have
but
an
it
age
being
stated on
bottled
it.
and bond, all it shows is it's got to be a minimum of 4 years. So it
Right,
could honestly, and I hate to say it this way, you could be looking at an E.H. Taylor single barrel in BTAC for no reason at all, just at 3 times the price.
It could be just because it's older. Just
Yeah,
because it's older.
and it
So
doesn't
they'll
even need
say
to
it's
be older
13 years old.
Yeah, they could say anything, but it's bottled and bond, which just means it's got to be 4 years.
Well, listen, we're gonna wrap it up at that because we've gone 2 hours, which we never do. We never do.
We
Yes,
always do.
we've
No, we
done
do an
two
hour
and
and
a
a half.
half hours. Yeah.
We always do.
2.5 hours.
Yes.
Yeah, the
always at
last one was
30.
like 2 hours and 15
The
minutes.
dog is passed
The dog is
out.
passed out, so we're not doing that tonight. Apparently.
Oh, you got to go
She's
walk the
got-
dog?
Well, I usually walk the dog. You guys know how it is. Just get off the live, go walk the
Owen
dog.
needs to go to bed. Owen doesn't work the rest of this week, so you got me all night long, Tom.
Ooh, Owen, live after party.
So let's do this. Let's do this. Owen, thank you very much for coming. You were
Yes,
not a
thank you.
disappointing guest in any way, shape, or form. I think the guys gave you shit for no reason. I think you did
Well,
fantastic.
that's
I-
normal.
It's their
appreciate-
job.
I'm 25, dude. I shouldn't have the knowledge I do in whiskey. I really shouldn't. I should be drinking Smirnoff Ice right now by the TV.
All that stuff behind you says something different. But we appreciate you. You are the legend. Do you want to chug anything before you go, or do you just want to call it a good job? And
Oh, no, we're chugging. Hold on.
We're chugging.
well, he's the legend. He has to chug something, and it can't be something stupid. Okay, what are we chugging?
Oh,
What are we chugging? Owen's going out in style. This is going to be how we're going to say goodbye to Owen
Owen,
tonight.
better be something good.
Owen is chugging the George T. Stag. BTAC, in honor of all of the BTAC conversation. That a boy. There's the legend. Ladies and gentlemen, Owen Kelly, the legend. One of the great OG patrons. All right, Owen, thank you for coming, brother. You're the man.
Thanks, Conrad.
Appreciate you,
I
man.
appreciate
We'll
it.
talk to you later. So Owen never disappoints. I told him he didn't have to feel obligated to do the chug, but yeah,
He
look
came
at
through.
Kenny's claiming him right now. That's my boy. Yeah, Will.
You're
Listen,
my boy, Blue.
for anybody who doesn't know Owen Kelly, we call him the legend because he's chugged things like Willet and just all kinds of ridiculous, expensive shit. That's just kind of the way that he rolls.
Ted, thank you. What a standout.
Yeah, Ted. Yeah, special shout out to Ted Brooks. Huckleberry, if you're local and you want to go whiskey hunt one of these days, just you message me. I'm super easy to get a hold of. Oh, look, PAB Productions, milk. Where you been, man? He's always commenting milk comments on my stuff. I love that dude. He cracks me up. He's been around for years making milk comments. We actually did part of my Pilk. The Pepsi and milk was motivated by
Oh,
him.
that's right. Wait, I want to know, is Ted related to Rick? Same
No, they
last
just-
name, no
Rick made a-
relation?
Rick made a comment about a
No?
great last name. I don't think so. Well, I'll tell you what. This has been a fantastic live. It was great to have Owen on. If you don't know we've been bringing people in. Thanks, Bradley, for coming in. If you are a patron and you want to appear on one of the lives on one of these weeks, please, you can message me. All you got to do is be a patron because you got to be able to get into the Discord so I can pull you into the live chat. and we will have you on. We'll see what you want to talk about. It's going to be hard to beat the performance from Owen with the GTS bottle chug, but you don't have to do that. You can do you. We just want to talk about whiskey, talk about your whiskey collection. We're going to have some names on here, some distillers, some blenders at some point. We just want to work out all the kinks with the patrons before we go trying to do that and embarrassing ourselves, which I
Also,
do.
please
But,
spread the word of Whiskey Bonded, Bonded Bottle Shop. Tell your friends.
yeah,
We do want to grow this, so maybe hopefully someday this guy can quit his job and
yeah.
do this
So
full time for you.
thank you very much for everybody's generosity. People like Ted Brooks tonight, but all of the patrons, you guys, we're going to be doing this primarily through. Thanks for coming by, William. We do this pretty much every Wednesday at 6:30. We do miss on occasion for other real life stuff. Next week we're going to be on vacation. I may I may jump on next week while we're on vacation, but it will be on TikTok if I do that. So we'll be back 2 weeks from tonight when we're back in town. But we're gonna try and build this thing up. You guys, if you want to support the channel, you can get the t-shirts, the Make Bourbon Cheap again at whiskeyBondedShop.com. All of these links are at whiskeyBonded.com or in my bio. But check out the liquor store, bondedbottleshop.com. You can buy whiskey for great prices, and it helps to support the channel. But thanks to all the patrons. That's the primary way we do this whole freaking thing. But
And Joyce, we are going to do something for Mother's Day, so stay tuned.
yes, we will not forget that. She will not forget that. And you're absolutely right, Garrett. Share this with somebody. Just hit the share button on YouTube. Copy the link. You don't even have to send it to anybody. We just got to feed that damn algorithm a little bit. And hopefully they'll start showing this to a few more people, which would be great. Because it's a lot easier to get people to watch us on the TikTok. But I don't really want to go back to the TikTok. The TikTok is it's not nice.
More and more we're hearing that it's just anybody with like booze content is just getting slaughtered over there. So
They throttled
Yeah.
us. I was talking to Big Pikey. He's got 2 million followers, and they're throttling him. So I don't know what that. You don't even show. They don't even show your content to your own followers.
yeah,
It don't make any sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Gareth asked if jazz counts.
100%.
I've been. They've been practicing. We've been. Thank you, practicing. Keep at it, man. We need a little
keep
mini
going.
Garrett. We need a mini Garrett running around in this world. That you guys make a great.
That
great
would be
friends.
our second baby bonded.
That would be. We do. There's one baby bonded. Javi's baby
Yeah,
bonded.
so far
It'd be hard to be cuter than that
he's
one.
got the crown.
That's a cute baby.
He is so cute.
Dear
He's
God.
just like I
Yeah.
can't. It's
So will we stream? Ideally, we stream every Wednesday at 6:30 on YouTube. We do miss them sometimes. Like we're skipping next week because we're going to be out of the country. But we basically stream every Wednesday at 6:30. So we're good about it. If we do it, we're on time. Yeah, we'll come to Old Elk with this. I tried to, William, but I couldn't get out. Too many things going on. The PIB
Aw,
Productions.
Kenny.
What?
Junior is the original baby bonded.
He is the original baby bonded. That's true. He does not like that nickname. All right, you guys. Thanks for coming by. Please share this with somebody. You guys just check out any of our things at all. It doesn't really matter. What?
Garrett, practice without purpose because they don't want any.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, you guys. We'll see you guys back here 2 weeks from tonight on YouTube. We may do something next week from Mexico. I don't know. We'll see. But 2 weeks from
See
tonight,
how it
we'll be back
goes.
here on YouTube. But I am always available, you guys. If you're in the Discord, you can find me on. If you're in the Patreon, you can find me on the Discord all the time. All week long, we're in the Discord chatting. I try to stay active. I always respond to my emails. I try to respond to stuff as much as possible. So I'm easy to get a hold of. If you guys need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. But thanks for coming by. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Any last words?
No.
That's it. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.